What's up, guys? I'm live. Aaron Bree's not here. Luke is not here. I don't know where they are. I'm live. Aaron Bree's not. That's me. Sorry. I don't know where they are. What are you guys doing right now, AB? Luke is getting set up. He says they're not here. So I went live without them because these people, they have no idea what they're doing. And so they say the camera doesn't work. I don't know what anyway, whatever. Let's pop into Benzinga Pro, see what's going on. Do you guys see Micron today? Holy cow. Look at Micron. What a disaster at the open. What happened, everyone? Who's late? Yes, Shelly, they're all late. I'm here because they're not.
We started this at 12:03.
The urgency is not there. Yeah, I'm just not seeing the urgency here. So I went live.
All right, Spencer. On my list today, I've got Rocket, Save, WISA, Sam, and PKKFF.
Okay.
How does that sound?
It sounds.
But you're on Micron, so I would keep going.
It sounds like a list. Yeah.
Keep going on Micron.
The Micron thing, this is interesting because I didn't actually see what was going on here. And I just saw the price action. And I don't actually think that there's any specific headline. There is, as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing on there's nothing with regards to Micron specifically. There is no broader macro headline. I mean, I can see all of tech is down today, right? And you can look across the space and you see AMD, but AMD is down 0.3%. It's down 30 cents. Nvidia is down what? Nvidia is down 1%, right? TXN is down about 1%. Micron is down almost 5%, getting hammered out there. Shelly's asking the right questions. I mean, Shelly, I don't know though, because it's not like this was a surprise. We knew this a couple of days ago. So I guess it passed one house. It's going to the other house. But I don't know. I mean, Micron is just brutal. I mean, what do the moving averages say? Let's get a 50-day up here. Here, that's a 9-day. I don't care about a 9-day.
Spencer. It's time to YOLO trade some stocks. We're still doing Micron.
Oh, look at this real fast. Oh man, crashed below the 50-day. Let's add one more.
Micron.
Still going Micron. One more. I mean, this chart is hideous. Man. Oh, I just screwed it up. Whatever. Okay. Oh, ugly. Oh, now Aaron Bree and Luke are here. Now they want to show up. Okay. So, here's the plan, guys. We're staying live until 3 o'clock on this one stream. So, Luke will be on, AB will be on, Neil will be on, Crypto, and then Vivi at 2:30, and we'll do that until 3 o'clock. So, we're staying live here for 3 hours.
All right, Spencer, ready. Week 2 earnings season, my pick of the week. We're 1 for 1. All right. Last week, the pick was carparts.com. We smashed it. We got a 20% run on that day. Ready for me to pitch you through my pick for week 2. I'm going for 2 for 2, baby. It's a little bit YOLO, but it's a game I like to play every single earnings season. I have a thesis on a stock. I already have the one lined up for next week. This week, ticker RKT, Rocket Companies, reporting after the close Thursday. That is my play. You ready to hear it?
RKT?
RKT.
Does it revolve around like a dividend or something? No.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Okay, so here's the first thing, okay? Let's look at estimates. Last quarter, Rocket put up $4 billion of revenue. Estimate for this quarter, $2.9 billion. So let me go ahead and pull up the press release from Rocket's last earnings report. I've got a couple things to point out to you. All right, and keep in mind, guys, the quarter that we're going to be looking at is April, May, June. Those are the numbers that we're watching. So if we go ahead into here, we control F for March. Check this. Mortgage business continues to perform. March, their highest producing application volume ever ever. So that was in March. That was last quarter, but that's rolling us into Q2, the quarter that we're going to get earnings reports for. All right. We also got some guidance out of the company. Let's scroll down to our Q2 guidance. All right. Company said they expect closed loan volume between 82.5 and 85 billion. So let's take the midpoint of that. It's going to be here. I'm going to add it up. We'll get the exact midpoint for you, Spencer, since you're being pissy today.
I'm not being pissy.
Divided by 2, 85 billion. That's the midpoint.
Okay.
So the midpoint that they expected for closed loan volume in Q2 was 85 billion. Mm-hmm. Let's go up to Q1 because we have all the Q1 data. That was from the report last year. Q1, they closed 103 billion. Okay. So if we go ahead, we take our 85 billion divided by the 103 billion. So they're basically saying we're expecting to close 83% of the loans in Q2 that we closed in Q1. Last quarter, they did $4 billion of revenue. If we just do that simple math, that backs us out to $3.3 billion of revenue for Q2 because the loan origination volume, that's the leading metric that revenue trickles down from. But basically, if we apply their Q2 guidance to the Q1 numbers, we're coming out to $3.3 billion of revenue from Rocket. If we go ahead and we compare that to the estimate, $2.9 billion, that's a 10% revenue beat on a large cap stock. You don't get those often.
Can I tell you, though, that if you look back and look at every quarter that Rocket's reported since they've been public, and they
beat on revenue every single quarter, baby.
That's my argument.
That doesn't hurt our thesis.
That's
the
my
stock
argument.
is still flat.
No, that's my argument. They beat
20% sold short. So you have that short squeeze pop as well.
This is my argument, though, that they beat all the time and it doesn't help the stock. That's what I'm saying.
But we're gonna get that post earnings pop, and let me show you this Spency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's look at the income statement, interest income, expenses,
Income
yada.
Income
all right.
statement.
Look at how much net income Rocket put up last quarter. $2.8 billion of cash, dude. $2.8 billion of cash last quarter. They have get another quarter where they put up $2 billion plus of cash flow. We're gonna get a special divvy. We all like those special divvies, or we're going to get a buyback on the stock.
Can I drop some past performance data on you for a second?
I don't know, Spencer. Can you?
Okay, here we go.
We've all seen what this stock is liable to do as well. Woo!
Okay.
Woo!
Okay. We don't have a lot of history to go off of. We only have 4 quarters we only have 4 prior reports, right, of Rocket as a public company. But looking at those 4 quarters, here's what the stock has done afterwards. Okay, last time around, their last report was May 5th. Rocket basically went straight down in the 2 weeks after its report, straight down. In the first day, it was down 5%. Second day, it was down 7%. It went straight down after its report. The time before that was in February 25th. It went straight up after its report. That was in the midst of meme stock mania. So that wasn't nothing to do with the report, but regardless.
Come on, the report was a catalyst, but keep going.
November was their second report as a public company. November 10th, stock went straight up after its report. It was up 3% after day 1, 7% after day 3. But by a week or 2 later, it had leveled out. But it had a really good 3 days after its report in November, and after their first report as a public company in September. Stock went straight down. So we can see in September and in May, the stock went straight down after its report. In November, it went straight up for 3 days and then leveled off after a week. And in February, it went to the moon basically in February. So there's no real pattern here because again, we only have 4 quarters worth of data. But I think it is worth knowing what the stock has done after its last 4 earnings reports. Unfortunately, there's no real trend to speak of.
And so I'm saying, give me a beat. They guided for what is a beat right now. March was their strongest month of originations ever. Company history. Housing boom slowing down, maybe wasn't in March. The period we're getting is April, May, June. So give me that earnings beat. Give me that buyback. Give me that special dividend because they are throwing up a ton of cash right now. And so, Spencer, I already have the starter position on this one. I'm about to layer it in.
Just to be clear.
Go on, hammer.
Just to be clear, like fundamentally, I think Rocket is a great company. But that clearly does not mean a lot with regards to the stock in the short term. Because if it did, this thing wouldn't be at $17.
All right. Well, I already have the starter position. I'm adding to it. We're going on margin.
I'm going to give the same take that
Stay filled, baby.
I'm gonna give the same take.
Stay filled.
I'm gonna give the same take I always give in stocks like this, which is like if you own it, great. You probably need to take it off your screen for a year or more.
Can we get some air horns for the live trade?
No, we don't have the air horns. It's all effed up.
No, we do have air horns. What do you mean?
Okay, Spencer. None of my buttons work.
Here, I got your air horn right here. If I can ever.
And if you guys are just joining us, this is the Power Hour. This is the Spencer just put us to sleep with his analysis of Micron. I woke everybody up with Rocket. Okay, guys. We're doing one trade each week of earnings season. We do this every quarter. Last week it was carparts.com. We nailed it. We got a 20% pop there. And car parts is still going, baby. We're up to that $20 level. So let's see if we're going to be 2 for 2. And guys, these are high risk trades, trading anything into earnings. That's why I don't do many of them.
Oh shoot!
Take a shot at one a week.
Wait, do we need to? Is it a buy or sell signal that Cuomo is resigning, Luke?
Ooh, I think that's good for markets.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a buy signal. Buy.
He's got to get out of there.
Buy.
I think the other Cuomo has to resign too.
Let's not get into all this. It's a buy signal. BYE. Buy. That's what that is. Luke, what else was on your list here? You dropped the list at the top of the show. I know. I want to get to Sam. Can we get to Sam at some point?
Yeah. So on my list, we've got the crypto stocks. We have an earnings play, Rocket. We talked through that one. We'll keep talking about it as the story develops into the report Thursday. Spirit Airlines. That's a swing trade we took on Friday. We'll check in on that one. Ticker WISA. Sam and PKKFF. So a lot of symbols to get through today. But you called out Sam. Let's pull it up. Boston Beer Co. Makers of Truly. Let's just look at their earnings historically. Let's look at the revenue side. Look at how much their revenue exploded. Right, we're talking in this 200s range to 600 million from Truly. They announced a deal today with Mountain Dew, producer AB's favorite beverage. He loves those Mountain Dew 2 liters, where they are going to be making a hard Mountain Dew drink. Stock is getting sold on it, more or less flat. We're down about 2% on ticker SAM today. I don't think that this news is super interesting, Spencer.
What? You of all people?
Mountain Dew has tried to get into the energy drink game for a long time, at least 10 years. What successful energy drink product launches does Mountain Dew have? They came out with Rise. That was one that came out 6 months ago.
Code Red, Game Fuel.
See, he knows.
But that wasn't an energy drink launch, dude. That was a soda drink. It's like having when they introduce other flavors. They've successfully launched other flavors, but trying to get into the hard energy drink game, Mountain Dew has tried it many times, and it hasn't taken off in the way that a Celsius or a Bang Energy or a Rockstar, etc. has.
Okay, if we got the
Amp, somebody else is throwing out Amp. Who still sees the Amps?
Hey, actually, I used to drink Amp. Amp was my go-to in college for all-nighters.
I don't remember Nos. Nos was an energy drink back in the day too.
Yep.
Okay, Luke. What we're gonna do is we're gonna reach out to the head of this segment at Pepsi or whoever. Yeah, it's Pepsi.
All right, don't show them this clip. I take back everything I said.
I want to see. I see the red one, but I don't think I want the Code Red Mountain Dew seltzer or a Baja Blast seltzer. Then I'd be long. But
wait, Daniel's dropping Vault. Yeah, I used to drink that too. You guys used to have Vault?
No, I don't remember that one.
Oh, that was a good one.
Luke, do we have time to go over my quick live trade I just made before our first interview?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, let's see this. So, what is Vault energy drink? Oh, this was another Mountain Dew product, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a good one.
How many times has Mountain Dew tried and failed in the energy drink game, guys?
All right.
Maybe this time it's different, but the market definitely sees my side of the story. This is not the next Truly. Boston Beer got the pop on the open off this news. It was a ridiculous move. I wasn't fast enough to hit it on the downside. The rest of the market did. All right, hit your live trade, producer AB. Let's see it.
All right, so I had an epiphany. Instead of trading options into earnings when I don't know what the earnings report will look like, A, and B, how the stock will react to the earnings report, I figured, why don't I start hitting options after the earnings? So today we had Callaway report earnings yesterday, I believe. The stock was down. Here, let me go to Callaway's stock.
We're looking. ELY was out yesterday.
We're looking at the value of the contract right now. So the stock was down 4.5% today, or down as much as
it's 4.5 right now. It looks like it was down more than that a little.
Yeah, it was down 7% at 10 a.m. Eastern. And so if we zoom out on this chart, go to like a year-long chart, we can see a little uptrend. And I think this drop, isn't a sign that the stock is reversing on this chart.
Sorry, my fault. Keep going.
All good, Spencer. And so here, I just am buying the dip here. So we dropped from around $34 a share down to around $32, $31 a share. I bought these calls, and let's see how they're doing right now. Oh, showing you the whole portfolio.
Don't do that.
So let's see. I'm down 10% right now because the stock has dipped a little bit after I bought them, but these don't expire until September 17th. So I'm holding on to these for a couple weeks. I'm looking for like a month-long swing trade, and all I'm looking is for Callaway to break above the $34 level, and I will get rid of these contracts. My break-even price is $35.20, but I can, of course, sell them before we get to that level. And yeah, I'm long Callaway already, and so I'm just taking the opportunity here to buy the dip.
And so basically the thesis, producer AB, is the market is selling it off of the earnings report, which
even though the earnings were
great.
Even though the earnings were good.
They look great.
Right. And so I don't think this is a sign that the stock is going to reverse and start coming down. I think it's just a small dip in the continued uptrend. I see Raz in here. Raz, what do you think about this?
I said to you guys on the earnings, I'm long Callaway in a big way. I said to you it would take crazy blowout to move the stock up because the CEO on the last call said that we have unlimited demand and all this stuff, which makes it hard to move the stock when you're saying that. And so he built up huge expectations where he could have just built it up a little bit less. I'm, surprised to see it trading down as much as it is. Sorry for that noise.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I closed the door, but the dog's been quiet all day. So, I mean, it's record numbers, full year outlook. I mean, give some of these key numbers from Benzinga Pro. It's large.
Yeah, so I loaded up my trusty Benzinga Pro here. If you guys haven't done your 2-week Benzinga Pro trial, there is no better time than earnings season. I'm telling you guys, long-time user, I'm telling you, earnings is the time to take your free trial. But let's look at just sales. Revenue, $914 million
Up
for
to
$744 million.
I mean, but not increase. Like, look at the increase. I mean, just insane numbers, EBITDA numbers, everything. So I'm trying to think what could be a negative.
So Spencer's in the category of people who have gotten kind of into golf during the COVID pandemic. I know a lot of friends my age. I don't think it's slowing down. I think more and more I have friends that were never playing golf before that are hitting me up, what clubs should I get, all this stuff. And I just am so long the space right now. And I think this is a great buying opportunity for Callaway.
Yeah, but here's your challenge. What's your catalyst?
That's a good question. I mean, we have the Ryder Cup coming up, but
it's
nothing.
It's going to have to be sentiment around the stock, I feel like, between earnings reports.
Jason's right. What's the catalyst? That's
like, I mean, I'm in it, guys. It's Callaway's probably my 10th biggest position. I'm in it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, what's gonna
maybe Topgolf, Jason, continue. They just paid a pretty penny for that. So
but Spencer, what if it's not earnings? What moves it to 40 before earnings? Like,
but Jason, I don't need it to move like 10% higher than it was to 40 for these calls. I just need it to recover this 4% loss that we were sitting at when I got into the contract. So for my catalyst, I'm not looking for a huge move on the upside from where Callaway was trading yesterday. I'm just looking for it to recover from the dip today.
I get it. I think it's fair.
Okay,
and,
guys.
and you already got some of the analyst notes. Spencer's about to get us on track.
Yeah.
We've got back-to-back interviews queued up.
Yeah, we're way off track.
Hanging out in the green room.
We're way off track. I'm bringing us on track. We were talking about energy drinks before, so let's go from energy drinks to just energy.
Oh, good segue, Spencer.
Like that segue.
That's a good segue.
Spencer, I did see the behind the scenes Benzinga clips.
Yeah.
And there's a part where you're like, what is going on in the power hour? It is mayhem. What is going on? What is going on? What show is that? Which one?
I don't even remember, man. I don't even remember. They're all like that, though.
I liked when Jason got Spencer with the air compressor thing. I don't think I was there for that.
I asked for that to be taken out, but
okay.
Yeah.
Jeremy Kent is the CEO. See that's how we do things. Jeremy, oh man, the CEO of One Energy. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon, Spencer. I can't believe you did the energy drinks to energy transition. I thought about it and decided it was too corny, but we'll go with it.
Wait a minute. Before we get to One Energy, you say you're a former dirty shoes guy, reluctant clean shoes guy. What does that mean?
So I started my career actually with hands-on tools and running project sites and wearing dirty shoes every day. And I used to joke that nobody who wore clean shoes had any idea how a project was built. And somehow I ended up in clean shoes and clean clothes from time to time running a company now. And so I try to balance the two.
So what exactly is One Energy? You guys are building wind turbines, right?
So we're an industrial power company, and what we do is we do things like on-site wind energy for large industrials. So we're the largest installer of behind-the-meter on-site wind energy in the country. We also do managed high voltage, or we do entire electric systems for those same customers. But what we really do is we help large industrial customers build their own customized solutions. Usually that has some renewable energy in it. Oftentimes that's stuff they don't want to do, and it's a way to be essentially a privatized utility for them. There you go. You got our website up, and so we'll build high voltage systems for customers. We do wind turbines that directly power factories. We have customers like Whirlpool, Marathon Petroleum, Ball Corporation.
That was my question.
So
that was my question. Is who are your customers?
Yep. So we help make products that are already in your home. If you got a can of Coke on your desk, there's a pretty good chance the lid was made about half a mile that way. Ball's facility that was getting 60-70% wind energy from us. So Ball Corporation, Marathon Petroleum, Lafarge, Wholesome, several projects with Whirlpool and a number of other private and mid-sized customers.
I'm always thinking about like the public markets angle here. So you guys are not a public company, but that's not to say there isn't an angle. So from your vantage point, how exactly is the wind energy space growing? Because there are ample public companies and ways anyone can invest in this industry, but I'm curious just about the growth in the last couple of years, because it tends to get caught up with, like, in terms of how the sector behaves, it gets caught up with like solar and the movement of that a lot of times, and that's a very volatile industry. So how is the wind energy market growing right now?
Yeah, and so the real differentiating point is it's not the wind energy market, it's the customer control market.
Okay.
Right? So you have to look at individual customers, not big wind projects. We're building 2 or 3 turbines at a time, and large customers are trying to figure out how to reduce their carbon footprint, how to save cost, how to get 20-year fixed rates, and our projects do this interesting concept of a 20-year locked-in rate. So imagine being Whirlpool and having a 20-year fixed rate that's cheaper than your current rate today, and happens to be all clean energy. So that gets interesting. And the real public markets angle here is that this is an extremely capital intense business. It's $3 to $4 million a widget, and so we're trying to figure out, as any company doing this, how to raise hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars in the next 5 years. And so you start talking about all the things that are out there, and we've talked about the SPAC stuff and are actively looking at that. We're trying to figure out, as somebody who swore he would never go down the public company route, that's becoming more and more efficient of a source of capital compared to private markets. So it's a challenge we're wrestling with.
Is that something that's changed in the last year?
Absolutely.
Why? Why?
So, public company markets, at least through the SPAC process and this, ignoring all the flying cars and some of the craziness, right? It's a very efficient route to bring in a large amount of capital and not have to do, 5 incremental fundraising cycles. Yeah. So the minute we finish a fundraising cycle, we're talking about the next one and how to bring more capital in. And so if all of a sudden you just take 4 or 5 years of capital raising off the table with that process, it's something that you have to look at. And then you have to figure out if you want to go down that path and be talked about on Benzinga each day, or Benzinga, each day, and figure out how things are going and if you want to live or die by that sword. So
I understand. If I was the CEO of a company, I would not go public because I don't want to deal with that and people like me. But I understand it. It is also a great source of capital, and there is no substitute for it. But yeah, there are two sides to every coin. So all that being said, Jeremy, make your pitch right now. What is the pitch, if not for One Energy, but for the business that you're in?
Yeah, I mean, so the real pitch is that that there are billions and billions of dollars that have been put into these great tech. We're going to solve the new form of on-site power. The Blooms of the world and all of those guys claiming they can do good DER stuff. And the reality is, none of that's going to work unless there's companies that customers trust 24/7, 365 to be there to replace a utility. And so every time you hear about the power grid failing, every time you hear about all of the problems and frustrations, right? If you're a large industrial customer, what do you do? And how do you decarbonize while you do it? And it's companies like us that, are at our core dirty shoes companies that answer the phone call at 2 a.m. on a Sunday and show up at your plant, but also can, do all that capital investment that you don't want to do. So the real pitch is, who do you think is going to replace utilities? And, we talk about decarbonization, and, the reality is industrials are where everybody's focus should be at. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but 0.6% of the energy users in this country use 26% of the electricity. There's 53,000 target facilities, and they use 26% of the electricity in this country. So if you actually want to change the power grid and get customer control and build the power grid of the future, utilities aren't going to do that. So it's a company like us that does that makes all the other tech you hear about possible.
It's funny you mentioned utilities. It seems like there are a number of large major states. Actually, the two largest states are having serious problems with their biggest utilities right now, whether it's California with PG&E or Texas with that whole mess. It's interesting that the two largest states in the country are having serious problems with their two largest public utility providers. I'm wondering if you just have thoughts on how the public utility sector, if you will have to progress into in an arena like this if they want to avoid problems like those two firms are having.
Yeah, I mean, so I talk about this a bunch, and I talk about the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And those are the stages that you see these utilities going through. You see them, going through everything's just fine, leave it to us. You see massive lobbying amounts trying to get the ability to go spend a whole bunch of new money. We have to figure out how to let existing utilities pass peacefully and into a new version of what a utility is, because the model that made sense 50 and 60 years ago just doesn't make sense in a lot of cases today. So a lot of these utilities are, they're monopolies, right? Can you imagine if every day somebody had to watch Benzinga, it was the only provider they were allowed to watch? And by the way, no matter what you did, you were guaranteed a profit on top of it, right? So you could go spend more and more money, and you could say, I'm sorry, it was a horrible show, but you still have to watch me tomorrow. And by the way, I'm guaranteed my profit, right? And we sit around and wonder why it's not getting better. I mean, heck, your show would suck if that was the case, right? You have to go out and compete for customers every day, just like we do. And that's just not the market you see. So until we figure out how to, deal with monopolies that don't know how to innovate, I mean, the world's not going to change much.
What do you make of just the overall, how do I phrase this? The overall, maybe investor desire right now for energy. It's broadly speaking. I mean, there's when you talk about energy, there's clean energy, and then there's oil and gas, and they're very different things. But broadly speaking, the investor appetite, like you can make the argument for both sides of that spectrum, clean and traditional energy, that investor appetite is not what it once was. Especially with oil and gas, but with regards to clean energy, we're coming off it's a very cyclical, up and down, volatile theme or industry. So, like from your vantage point, what is the investor appetite right now, broadly speaking?
I think investors are tired of simple solutions, and I think the new magic box that's all of a sudden going to change everything. I think investors are struggling with.
Yeah.
I think they're struggling with trusting utilities, because they realize that you can't be a profitable utility and keep starting wildfires and keep losing money that you end up getting back through some bailout. And so I think we're seeing investors finally ask a lot of good questions. I'm hoping that you see investors start putting more scrutiny on it, because frankly, there hasn't been enough scrutiny on what it means to be a good business in this space in a long time. But the capital is definitely out there. I mean, in the private markets, the capital is definitely there. It just struggles with the growth concept.
Okay, and you mentioned a SPAC as a potential thing, but why would you do that versus an IPO versus a direct listing versus something else?
So, I mean, the reality is we're a 10-year-old company that, took the first 5 years to really figure out how to prove this model worked, and then have been growing and executing. Yeah. And we just aren't ready to go the traditional IPO process. If you're to chart that out, traditional metrics for where we should be, that's 5+ years away. And, the SPAC space walks up and says, look, we're willing to take a chance on growth, and there's a way to do that. And what if we see the vision and see the execution risk and quantify those and go forward? So, the IPO route isn't a direct replacement for the SPAC route, because the SPAC route is, one SPAC managing director put it, or CEO put it to me, there's supposed to be a little hair on SPACs and a little bit of hope. And so they're willing to take a little bit more of a chance. That's the real reality of why you look at that. And anybody who's gone through the private process to raise capital, and in the private market, we get 2 tranches of capital. One of them is project capital, which is all, asset backed, 20-year contract. That's pretty attractive, easy to get capital. But then you look at growth capital, and growth in the utility space, is not a metric anybody's used to, because utilities grew 50, 60 years ago and haven't had a change ever since. So getting true growth capital in that space is like pulling teeth in the private market. And the question is, how many trips to the dentist do you want to take before you consider just going the route of a SPAC? And that's the math that us and other capital intensive high growth companies are trying to figure out.
All right, we've been on with Jeremy Kent. He's the CEO and also the chief fall guy, as he put it, of One Energy. Links in description. Jeremy, a pleasure. We will definitely have to have you back on again whenever we talk about this space, because it is one that I do not know a lot about, and I need people like you to help me learn. So thanks a lot for joining us today.
Spencer, a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Okay, things are a little bit less chaotic now. We got the hurricane duo out of here finally. AB.
Am I part of that?
Normalcy. No. Well, yes and no. Normalcy. Let's bring some normalcy to this show. I'm all about normalcy. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to have our next guest on, I guess, in a couple of minutes. He was having some tech issues, so we'll get him on in a second. We're talking to the CEO of Summit Wireless, Brett Moyer. After that, Mitch is going to come on, and we'll hang out. Again, we're doing one long stream, noon to 3 o'clock today. I don't think Neil will be able to join us. He said he has a fire, not a literal fire, a figurative fire that he has to put out. So Neil is a hard, questionable / doubtful for today. But you've got me, you got AB, you got Mitch, and we've still got Sylvia Bellrock joining us today at like 1:30 or so. So we got a lot going on. That being said, everyone, smash that like button. Do what you do. And yeah. So, okay, let's do a quick crypto update. If I can share my screen for a moment and look at some, because I have not looked at crypto since our last update several hours ago. Where's my crypto update? Charts coming up on the screen here. How are we looking? Oh, you hate to see it. Nothing can go up forever. You hate to see it. We did have mostly green on the screen this morning. That has been reversed now. We have mostly red. ICP still having a great day. ICP and ADA. Cardano and Internet Computer still having fantastic days relative to the rest of the crypto market. But Litecoin, ouch. Bitcoin, Ethereum, ouch. Doge, 24 cents. Yeah, this is looking a lot different than it was a couple hours ago. I don't know if AB has exposure. I did write down all the coins that were pitched in chat this morning. I wrote them down: Polkadot, Telcom, ICP, Token, Algo, SafeMoon. I think I caught all of them. I hope I caught all of them. If I didn't, pitch your crypto in the chat, and I will write it down and do my own research. But I would love to see what you all like. all this being said, the Benzinga crypto update is brought to you by Voyager. There is a link in the description. Get $50 in free Bitcoin when you use the code ZING on Voyager. Deposit up to $100 and make your first trade with over 60 assets to choose from, an annual yield earnings of up to 12%. Voyager is your launch pad into the world of crypto. All right, let's get this heat map off the screen. Let's give me the heebie-jeebies. Let's get some Benzinga Pro back on the screen. There's AB's screen. And let's you know what let's do? Let's go to a movers tool and let's just catch up on what is up, what is down, and then we'll go from there. Here's my pro. Scanner. Oh man, there we go. Okay. Computer being slow. Scanner. There we go. Okay. Oh, did 3D never stop going? Looks like 3D never stopped. Oh my goodness. Look at this 3D. It didn't stop. Oh. I did not notice that until just now. Wow. Novavax? Yeah, man. Okay. We should all do this together. Guys, we should all do this together. What vaccine stocks are we all going to buy? I'll do it with you right now. Are we all buying Novavax?
Wait, why are we buying vaccine stocks?
Because someone else is going to pull Moderna, right? Should we just buy? Should we chase Moderna up here, up, 1,000%?
What's wrong with Pfizer?
That's what I'm thinking. The problem with Pfizer, well, the good thing about Pfizer is they've got the vaccine and all the other stuff, right? But what they've got working against them is their market cap is huge, right? It's a $250 billion company.
So the vaccine makes up for a small part of their business, is what you're saying.
Well, smaller, right? Yeah, they're way more diversified, but they've got all their other stuff plus it. I might want to buy Pfizer actually. They're not like sexy growth beast like Moderna. Actually, Moderna, holy cow, Moderna's market cap is basically $200 billion, so it's catching up to Pfizer. Yeah, okay. I definitely would prefer Pfizer over Moderna. What about like Novavax?
What about your Johnson & Johnson?
Novavax is $15 billion. J&J, no. I'm sorry.
They failed the assignment. They had one job.
No, they didn't fail the assignment. New Jersey represent J&J. I'm with you guys. New Brunswick, New Jersey. That's near where I grew up. But
all right, let's look at it this way, Spencer. Out of the three major vaccine producers, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna, Johnson & Johnson was the only one out of the three to get a recall. And I believe they have the lowest efficacy rate out of all the three vaccines.
They do.
So maybe they didn't fail the assignment, but they certainly didn't, smash it out of the park and get an A+.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to read this comment from Brent here. Stats from Canada versus Delta. Again, wait. Oh no. What does this say? Canada versus Delta against symptoms. Oh, okay. AstraZeneca. The first dose after 2 weeks, I guess, was 67% effective. Pfizer was 56% effective. Moderna was 72% effective against hospitalization. I think that's what that means. Okay, thank you, Brent. So what Brent is saying is, and this is a study out of Canada, in terms of efficacy after the first shot, it goes AstraZeneca. I'm sorry, it goes Moderna, AstraZeneca, Pfizer.
Is the AstraZeneca one even available in the?
It's not approved. It's not approved in the U.S.
Interesting. All right, Spencer. Well, we do have our second special guest of the afternoon joining us, Brett Moyer, CEO of Summit Wireless Technologies, ticker WISA. We previously had Mr. Moyer on the show the day the company announced that they would be launching a Amazon marketplace for the company's products. So some exciting things going on with the company. We got to break the earnings this morning on Benzinga Pro. Again, if you don't already have Benzinga Pro, you can sign up for a 2-week free trial. Earnings season is a great time to do that. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Moyer on the stream. He will be joining us with audio only today. Mr. Moyer, how are we doing?
Doing great. How are you doing? Good morning. Good afternoon, I guess.
Is it morning where you are? Where are you located?
It's morning, California.
Nice. We are in the Eastern time zone in beautiful Detroit, Michigan. So it is about 40 minutes after noon right now.
Fun
All
fact.
right.
All right. Brett, wait. Recap us because not everyone is up to speed here. What was the news this morning?
Well, we have had a series of quarters that have shown year-over-year growth in the 100% range, 180%. This morning, we announced 354% growth year over year. And we issued out guidance for the full year of 180%. Right. So it was our earnings call. We've had a strong quarter. We're a consumer-based technology that goes into consumer electronic products. And that was our.
I'm curious how last quarter, comparing to last year is always going to be funky, right? But how does that compare to 2 years ago or 3 years ago? Because that was a little bit more normal, right? More normal environment.
Well, yeah, we're in the early stage, so it would only be a bigger increase, my guess is. Right. So if you go back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, our average quarterly revenue would be about 400,000.
And
right.
last quarter was, I'm seeing it in the pro here, 1.6 million, right? Yeah. So okay, and then you got, just to repeat what you said, you guided sales for the year. We'll call it in the high $6 million range, $6.5 to $7 million, which was a little bit above analyst estimates. You have gross margins ending up in we'll call that the high 20% range for the year. So big growth year over year. What drove that?
Yeah, so we have been working right through COVID to work on designs with speaker companies, designs with TV companies, and transmitters, so that you can have that simple setup home theater solution in your house for less than $1,000. I mean, literally, it's as simple as a sound bar to set up, and people are starting to get that message. And there's probably 25 odd brands that are using our technology now.
And who are your largest customers right now?
Well, it'd be Samsung Harman, right? So Harman International is a wholly owned division by Samsung. They're the largest audio company in the world, I believe. So they are our largest. And they are dominant in China, dominant in Europe with their products. After that, if you look at TVs, we have 2 tier 1 top 5 brands, being LG Electronics is shipping millions of WiSA ready TVs, and we have Hisense that just launched their line of WiSA ready TVs.
And then, Brett, do we have any new products in the pipeline that investors can get excited about?
Yeah, so if you're talking about our customer products, right? So we're a wireless module, a wireless chip. There's a lot of products that are still coming out this year. They range everywhere from high-end speakers to actually lamps with speakers built in, right, for the furniture market. So, and TVs, right? So there's a lot of products that are rolling out. If we're talking about our core technology strength, we do talk about a generation 2 that is targeted to the IoT market. So the Internet of Things, the low-cost Wi-Fi market. We announced that first sampling of that product in January, targeted to sound bars with rear speakers.
Got it. So anything specifically on the TV side of things that investors can get excited about?
Yeah, so we in Q2 we added 2 more TV brands. One was Hisense and Toshiba, right? And we also announced that you can download WiSA's app right onto all Android TVs. So you can run an entire home theater system using your TV remote on the TV with the WiSA SoundSend app connected to, and it'll connect to the WiSA speakers.
Got it. And then I know we kind of touched on this last time, but what would be the benefit for a consumer using the WiSA system as opposed to something like Sonos?
Yeah, so look, compared to a TV, all solutions are better than the TV generally, right? Because they're super thin with low quality. But when you go to a soundbar architecture, right? So that's Sonos, Bose, Sony. There's a lot of technology to simulate home theater out of a soundbar, but you would never go to a movie theater to listen to a big soundbar down in the front of the room, right? You go to the movie theater to listen to speakers and audio behind you, above you, on the side of you, that true surround sound experience. And now with Dolby Atmos, it's also three-dimensional. So when you go to a WiSA architecture that can handle 8 speakers, now you got that true surround sound experience that you got in a movie theater versus what a soundbar has. Sonos is a great system. It does what it does, but their $800 for the $800 soundbar that they have, the Arc, you can go and buy a full home theater system for $999 from Platin Audio or Enclave Audio.
Brett, let's get to the elephant in the room here. I mean, why is the street reacting the way it is to your stock, both today on what you say was a great quarter and longer term?
So, well, those are very different answers today versus longer term.
Okay, true.
So let's take longer term first.
Okay.
All right. We did IPO in 2018 with setting expectations that a tier 1 TV brand would launch WiSA ready TVs. They did launch in December, publicly announce it, but in fact, they never launched the product with the speakers until October 2019. So fundamentally, that whole program was in market. First of all, they ran us through 9 months of monthly delays, which was not kind to our stock, right? If they would have just said, hey, it's a 9-month delay, we would have performed probably a lot better. But always extending it out 1 or 2 months really put us in a bad position. So a little more than a year ago, so last March, we had to address it. We recapitalized. We did a reverse. And that's what you're seeing now. Post reverse, you got the historical stuff up there, but we have come up in market cap from the 20 million to the 55, 60 million, right? So I would argue
the reverse was November, right?
The reverse was March.
Okay.
2020.
Okay.
So you can, right? So I would argue medium term, the market is responding to our execution.
And what about immediate term, super short term? I mean,
if you're talking about today.
Yeah.
Okay. Who can tell me that?
I don't know.
You guys are in the business, and you guys cannot tell me that.
I don't know. To answer your question, we see stocks all the time that report great earnings, and the stock trades down, or vice versa. The company reports not so great earnings, and the stock's up 5%. So I was saying earlier on the show, I'm done with trying to trade into earnings because I don't know A, what the earnings are going to look like, and B, how the stock is going to then react to those earnings.
Right. So, post, I would say for the last 6-9 months, we have done very well building the market cap, from 20 million to the 55 million. And as we continue to execute, I still expect us to continue to increase the value. One of the things we announced today is our year-end cash. We also guided the year-end cash on the balance sheet of 13 to 15 million. So that implies that we're capitalized all the way through 2022.
Any plans for the cash on hand?
Well, we're heavily focused on driving market awareness with the consumers around WiSA and investing in our second generation technology, which really is a much broader market, right? That Gen 2 technology is applicable to all smart TVs, cell phones, headphones. It's a very broad market application technology. So we're setting up the WiSA standard on the current one, but we will extend it into our second generation, which is significantly lower cost and 10x larger market opportunity.
I'm looking at your earnings history. I see top line revenue growth. Are you concerned about profitability or lack of, or is that not a focus right now? And if it is a focus, do you have a timeline on that?
So on the one hand, it's always a focus, but I'll reiterate, we have this great opportunity right at this moment to really establish WISA as the wireless home theater standard. And that's what we're focused on. We're not going to go out and blow millions of dollars on marketing, but with the WISA Wave program, a small amount of burn goes a long way to establishing that standard with the consumer, right? And I think that's ultimately the highest value we can create is, if you think about HDMI, all you guys know what HDMI is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has been that cable that you plug into your TV and something else, a set-top box, a game box, whatever, an AV receiver, right? Well, think how valuable that trademark HDMI is, right? That's the same thing we're driving with the WISA trademark. So I don't want to take that money and just burn it because we have it, but we want to certainly drive consumer awareness around WISA. And that's one of the reasons we announced with you guys a few weeks ago, the WISA store at Amazon. Now, today, we guided that there will be more WISA stores with more e-tailers coming up this year. So as consumers become aware of WISA, they can search WISA. They should see a store pop up, and they can see all the products that are available there.
AB, you got something?
No, I was just going to ask kind of a wrap-up question, see if there's anything else investors can look forward to, maybe in the meantime or down the road for the rest of 2021 and into 2022.
There's a lot to look forward to. We have more partners launching more product this year, right? We have more activity around the WISA Wave and the growth that it'll drive. We have another TV brand that we expect to announce this year for our 6th TV brand. So there's a lot on the calendar, as well as we're guiding to substantial growth still in Q3 and Q4.
Brett Moyer, CEO of Summit Wireless, ticker WISA, chart up on screen. Brett, always a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Talk soon.
All right, that was Brett Moyer again. There was a question in the chat. Lively Club is very enthusiastic about XELA, extremely enthusiastic about Xella. Lively Club, since you brought this up, what do you think about Xella? She wants he or she, I don't know, can't tell, what that is. You brought it up, Lively Club. What do you think about it? Is there news? Yeah,
they're saying hold.
There was news this morning. They had earnings this morning, right? XELA.
The stock's down about 4%, Spencer. It could be a good buying opportunity if I knew kind of what the company did or anything about it.
Here, XELA. Oh, come on. Okay, I have to go to a calendar. I don't want to go to a calendar. My calendar is like 10 kinds of broken right now, and I haven't taken the time to fix it. Earnings this morning, right? And not even there. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's. You know what? Here, I'll bet you they're in the press release feed. XELA. Come on, computer, help me out. What do we got? Revenue 293. Oh, down sequentially. Oh my goodness. Revenue is down sequentially. Down quarter over quarter. Unless their Q1 is always their best quarter. That's a glaring red flag. Holy. And why do they not want to compare it year over year? Their losses are narrowing. See, I don't know how I feel about this. So
I'm gonna pass on this one.
So we have revenue declining sequentially. They don't even bother to compare their revenue year over year. That's not a good sign. Net loss is getting better. That they compare year over year. They want us to know that their net loss is getting narrower. I guess that's something. Profit up year over year. They want us to know that, but must have declined quarter over quarter. Let me see here. Margin. If margin expansion is your headline, right there. I don't know. If you're talking about margin expansion and liquidity, those aren't like the first things that those aren't the first questions I have when I look at like a stock or a company. It's not how are your margins and how's your balance sheet, right? It's like how's your bottom line revenue, bottom line earnings or top line revenue growing, right? Oh, here we have the comparison. Revenue is down almost 5% year over year. Is there a reason for that? Due to lower volumes as a result of COVID and transition revenue roll off. Not sure what that means. Anyway, let's go to the chart. And no wonder it's down today. Oh, interesting reversal at the open there. But you couldn't quite get to the pre-market high. Yeah, this is hands off. If you hold it, if you're long and strong, more power to you. I don't know anything about the company fundamentally. I just know what they said this morning.
Like I said, Spencer, I think there are more enticing buying opportunities out there. I've been thinking about kind of FOMO buying some crypto, but I think that indicates to me that it's the part of the market cycle where it's getting to the point where I would just top tick it, you know?
It's funny that you mentioned crypto because I want to FOMO buy some vaccine. That's why I brought that up earlier because I want to FOMO buy some vaccine plays. So you want to FOMO buy crypto, and I want to FOMO buy some vaccine stocks.
Is there a stock that we can FOMO buy both? A crypto / vaccine play?
That would be good, wouldn't it? Mitch, do you have a FOMO stock you want to buy? I bet you do. I bet Mitch does.
Wait, Daniel's asking me about lots.
What about lots?
I don't know.
Lots, not a lot in the earnings.
Oh, wow.
Mitch, do you have a FOMO stock you want to buy or a FOMO group of stocks you want to buy?
FOMO stock? I mean, I always will FOMO on Square.
Square.
I feel like a square for not buying it.
I know. I should have.
Let's just say that. I'll always look at that one. I mean, I saw it at 42 back when I used to watch pre-market prep right there in the chat. I was watching it.
Stupid Square. Oh, I thought about this.
42 to 277, Spencer. I mean,
Mitch, how do you think I feel? The founder and CEO of this company went to my high school.
What does that mean?
I mean, he came and spoke to us in like 2015, and I was like 15 years old. I could have been like, "Oh yeah, I like this guy. I'm going to go buy some of the stock," and I'd be retired right now.
You could have been the young investor.
I could have been the young investor, exactly.
You were just to recap. You were in third grade in 2015, and now you're here.
No. I was like 15 in 2015. Or no, sorry, I was
close enough.
Smart kid. What can I say?
It was
all right. So I want to point out some moves today that have been happening. Basic materials getting ripping through aluminum, steel, coal, copper, wherever you want to look. Have you seen the move the last 2 days in X? I mean, US Steel.
No, I haven't.
Boom, baby. That's a nice looking chart right there. Nice little breakout there. I also saw some industrials moving today. We could take a look here. Shipping and ports. I think we know what happened there. The kind of more of infrastructure. But even airlines up today. I was talking about airlines. I was starting to call out a couple of these that I wanted to watch. DAL, JetBlue, AAL. I expected these to come back. The one that I didn't expect to do good, and I don't know why. Was this a Luke Jacobi pick save?
Yes, it was.
It looks like it's bouncing back. It needs someone to save it. I heard a lot of the negative press towards it. That's the one I
well, yeah, they canceled. Are they still canceling flights? Does anyone know? Or were they able to figure out that mess? Because last week they canceled half their flights. They were responsible for like 40% of all the flights canceled in the U.S. last week.
Spencer, what about your buddy who had his flight canceled?
No, that was United. Yeah, my buddy had his flight canceled basically 12 hours before his flight, but that was United, so that was not a Spirit issue. But it's happening across the board. So
we'll definitely keep watch. I mean, now what are some of the infrastructure stocks you're going to keep watching now, Spencer? Anything on your radar?
Yeah, well, I've got my. Let's see. I've got
check out ChargePoint.
Yeah, that's it. That's EV infrastructure. Sure.
CHPT.
Sure. Hold on. Let me pull up the ETF that I own. Look up what.
Or just like iClean, ICLN.
That's clean tech infrastructure.
Are you talking more like railroads?
CYO, water play. You got to know your plays, and that's why you got to have like these baskets already ready to go, so that you can really kind of watch these move. This is what I've been talking about lately on Money Mitch a lot is trying to get towards the basket of plays versus just getting one play.
I'm a big fan of that approach as well. That's why I like ETFs, because they're literal baskets.
Literal baskets, exactly. And so you can either go about that way or you can make your own baskets. That's what I've been trying to do more of, because I feel like you can pick kind of the top 5 stocks in that industry and kind of ride with those top 5.
Charlie in the chat's dropping KSU, which is not Kansas State University. Close, Kansas City Southern. We saw this stock have a huge move back in.
There's news out today. There's news out today.
Good point out.
So it's up about 7% today. I don't think it's about
it's M&A. It's M&A.
Okay.
They've been. This has been going on for a while now, but Canadian Pacific, ticker CP, is basically raising their offer to buy KSU to $300 a share. So is what the total value comes out to.
I'll be right back. I got to go buy some NFTs.
But if we look at KSU's chart, we've seen a couple. Here, let me share my screen on Benzinga Pro. We're going to go ahead and get KSU pulled up. Let me go to the chart over here. I'm gonna look at the like year-long chart on some daily candles, so we can see the stocks had a couple of big moves up back in March 1st from let's see, around 225 all the way up to 260.
It's all M&A. All these moves are M&A.
Yeah, the Canadian I forget the company's name, but that was some big news that pushed the stock higher, because we can see that it's not really that volatile. I mean, it was just trading kind of. It was doing well, and then COVID hit. Doing well, and then boom, these huge spikes up. Today included another 7% move for KSU. I don't mind it I don't know. I feel like we might have missed the boat on this one, Spencer.
I mean, if you're buying it now, why?
Right, like it's already, because FOMO, it's already up 7%.
Yeah. So let's think about this for a second. All right, we have an offer on the table. The offer values KSU at $300 a share. If it gets approved, $300 is where it's going off the board.
And we get bought out, so we could buy in right now at like $288 and make a quick $12 off each share we have if it gets up to that level.
Okay. Yes, but there's 2 other things we need to factor in here. One, will the deal get approved? We don't know, right? At what price? We also kind of don't know, because this is like the 3rd price we've had. They keep raising their price. Let's go back here. This is why I love Benzinga Pro. You go to newsfeed, you search categories, you search M&A, boom. Every M&A headline related to KSU. Let's roll. Let's go back to March, right? That's when we had this.
Yeah.
We had the first offer. CP, Canadian Pacific, is going to buy KSU at the time for came out to $25 billion valuation. That valued KSU at $275. So $275 was your price back on March 21st. Then we had a Canadian National came in, and they basically offered what amounted to $325 a share. So from $275 to $325. Now we got Canadian Pacific. They're both Canadian. It's weird. We got CNI and we got CP. We got CP coming back in today and offering another deal. Oh, we had one in May too. It was $37.50 a share in cash plus stock. The one this morning values KSU at $300. So we've got several offers on the table. We got a $300 offer. We got a $325 offer. We don't know what's going to happen. We know it's probably going to have some scrutiny, because there's like 3 major railroads in all of North America, and they're all involved in this. So there's the antitrust factor here. In theory, right? If you take the offer this morning, $300, you're at $288 right now. That's $12. But think about that though. It's $12 that traders are pricing out of this deal. That's a pretty large number, right? Typically, you see, a deal get announced at X price, and the market obviously will factor in. They're building some buffer, right? they're building like a buffer of like a couple of dollars just in case the deal doesn't go through. $12 is a pretty large buffer. To me, that says, we're not that sure about this. Like if it was at 295, 296, then like, yeah, the market is pretty sure. 288 though, a little bit less sure. So in theory, you should be able to buy it at 288, and if the deal closes, you get taken off the board at 300. You can sell at 300, but that's just in theory. That is by no means a guaranteed thing here. You've got multiple offers on the table. You got antitrust stuff. This is a complicated situation. I don't know enough about it. For that reason, I'm out.
Got it. I'm out on this too, at least for now. If it drops down from this level that we saw spike up to, 7% today up to 288, then it could become enticing to me around 260, 265. But Spencer, I got a question for you regarding, trains, railroads. Do you think in our lifetime or in your lifetime or in my lifetime, we will see a Hyperloop in the United States?
Wait, don't we already have something that goes from like LA to somewhere? No, LA to maybe we don't. Like, are you referring to like a cross-continental thing, like New York to LA, or?
I mean, that would be cool, but even if it's just like New York to Philly in like 30 minutes, like I think we would have to see like one before we see the expansion to like a continental one that connects the coast to coast. But I mean, the technology is out there, right?
In my lifetime, absolutely. The question that I think the better question is, will we see a Hyperloop or some sort of transportation method that goes from like that goes across the Atlantic or the Pacific in our lifetimes, right? Think about,
no way.
Think about I'm 30, so I got about 50, 60 years left. Best case scenario. 6 years is a long time.
I'm short on that. No way that we're able to. Like, you think we're going to be able to have a floating bridge? I don't think so.
6 years is a long time.
The ocean's too deep to like stake anything. Although I will say, one of my favorite kind of like weird history facts is that from the time the Wright brothers invented flying, it was less than 100 years after that Neil Armstrong landed on the moon.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, it just shows how quickly technology advances. Like
it was like 60 years or 50 years.
Yeah, but like for hundreds of years, humans had tried to learn how to fly, and they got it. And then within like less than one person's lifetime.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the question is not, do we get a Hyperloop from LA to New York? It's, do we get a Hyperloop from New York to London?
Yeah, I mean, that was my concession to you, saying at the end of the day, technology advances pretty rapidly. And I don't think a lot of people that saw the Wright brothers thought, oh, we're going to be up on the moon in a couple of years, but they did it. But but I don't understand why that's not getting more attention as a potential infrastructure, thing that we could do right now, because I think that'd be huge for our economy to be able to get to, imagine people in like Philly being able to commute to New York City for work.
That'd be amazing.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be great. There'd be no reason to live in New Jersey anymore. Short New Jersey, everyone. Short New Jersey.
The only reason to live in New Jersey now is, is it better taxes than New York?
No, then New York maybe, but it's worse than everywhere else. The only reason to live in Jersey is because it's got close proximity to New York, to Philly, and the coast. It's pretty much the only reason to live in Jersey. Okay, where is Neil? You were asking. Someone in the chat was asking where Neil is. He is putting out a figurative, not literal, but a figurative fire right now. But we have Mitch. Mitch, what happened there? You went and bought.
I gotta give out some news. Some news here. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
CryptoPunk.
What do we got?
Tops. Muds has delayed their NFT tomorrow. They had a third-party outage that prevented them from updating our platform for the best customer experience. Here you go, guys, from their Twitter right here. I was actually about to buy these, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people were really anxious and realized, oh, that's why it says coming soon, and you can't get it right now.
Hey, wait, what's the ticker on that?
Muds, MUDS.
Bearish for this reason. Not as much reacting. It's
So
not,
this is for we saw Topps get into the MLB NFTs, but the ones you're looking at right now, Mitch, are for Bundesliga, which is the German soccer league.
Ooh.
So
No.
do you follow the Bundesliga already?
Yes, I actually do. Well, I mean, my favorite team comes out of this, Bayern Munich. I got German heritage, so I picked that team always in the Euros, kind of. But to tell you the truth, I think what this does is it gets it all on one platform. We talked about it on Spax Attack that now you got Topps all on one platform, and they're going to come out with multiple sports on this one new platform. That's why it's called Topps NFTs at the top versus how the old one was called, where it was called Topps MLB.
So does my question is, does Topps have the rights to make NFTs for other soccer leagues, the EPL, La Liga, or is it just Bundesliga that they worked out a deal with?
Well, I know they just have Bundesligas right now. I'm pretty sure they got one more league. We got Chrisopedia watching. So
okay, well, Chris will drop in the chat. I know Daniel's a big Chelsea fan. My Bundesliga team is Leipzig, and we saw Chelsea got Timo Werner from Leipzig. Was supposed to be a big deal. What do you know? Timo Werner hasn't really panned out on Chelsea. Chelsea's had a very bad track record of getting strikers that just do not pan out. But that's just me bloviating.
The brain right there.
Yeah, Chris, Topps has the rights to several soccer leagues. Yeah, but what about MLS? Is the one that matters?
They got the Champions League too. That's all you need.
Oh,
right?
That's the one that matters.
That's
the
one that
Champions League,
matters.
then they get the biggest.
Exactly.
Then they get the biggest clubs from all different, all different leagues. They get the top clubs from EPL, from La Liga, from League One. But Mitch, so a couple months ago, you loved Muds, you loved Topps, and then about a month ago, you found something in the company or something that you didn't like. Walk me through that.
Yes. I'll walk it through it. So pretty much, I'm going to try to do this quick because I want to do something fun for Get Technical coming up. I know a lot of people are asking that in the chat. But so what happened to me in Topps, and I'm going to look at it and call it how an NFT collector will look at it, not necessarily the stock itself. And so one of the things that turned me away on the NFTs was the changing of the platforms, because now, I mean, my cards are kind of going down in value here, and they're going to keep coming down in value because they're going to be not on the same platform. If they come out with new baseball cards, they're going to probably put it onto their own platform, which would be this Topps NFTs. And then that makes the dilution in their first release kind of happen. So that definitely doesn't make me too happy. And then I found out some other stuff, AB. I found out a lot of kind of paying up to the CEO. I saw that. I mean, I don't mind you giving your CEO some money. I don't mind that. But when I see so much go to him, and I mean, I just think it's kind of an unfair advantage for the retail investors. So it's something that definitely turns me off when I see CEOs take more advantage of the retail investors and the people that jumped into this SPAC. So, I mean, they're paying themselves out hefty. Let's just say that.
Got it. Yeah. And I think I'm seeing some good questions in the chat. Chris Koch is talking about Tom Brady's NFTs tomorrow. And I think that raises a good question, is that a good sign for the NFTs or maybe a sign of a market top that we see all these different celebrities kind of at the same time getting involved? I feel like we saw this with crypto earlier where all these out of nowhere, Paris Hilton starts endorsing some altcoin. And it's like, I just don't know. I think with NFTs, we're going to keep seeing these waves of popularity. And right now we're certainly at like the height of one of the waves of popularity. But I could foresee some of the values of these going down in the interim and then coming back up again once the next wave of popularity comes back.
If we've learned one thing, is that there's really, more often than not, there's no such thing as the top. We're probably never at the top. It doesn't mean we can't go down, but I mean, if you thought I thought Bitcoin was the top in 2017. That was very much not the top, right? Is it a temporary top? Maybe a temporary top, sure. But we're in like the bottom of the first inning here, right? Or maybe even the top of the first inning of NFTs. So yeah, we'll probably end up going like down periods of yeah. I mean, you could have thought that the top was in for baseball cards, but they've had a massive resurgence in the last year, right? I mean, the top is realistically, it's never in. It might be it might be in temporarily for a few months or a few years or a decade or longer, but most things come back.
I like this witty comment from Solar Up. You're talking about tops. All right, so I agree. I mean, I think I'll venture to say, Spencer, we're in the bottom of the first. I think the top of the first was, NBA Top Shot. That's what got everything going with the NFTs. We saw people get involved, and then we if we look at just like the search volume for NFTs back in January, whenever Top Shots got big, it was super hot. Then we saw it die down for a couple months, and now the search volume for NFTs has surpassed that of January. And I think this has been driven by a few different, these play to earn games. We have the CryptoPunks, Pudgy Penguins, all these very exciting things. And I agree. I mean, I think we're still very, very early in on this space.
Yep.
I just know that me personally, like when I start seeing this and I'm like, okay, maybe I should go buy an NFT now. That's probably a sign that we're at that greed cycle.
No.
The market cycle.
The sign is when your mom asks you, Aaron. That's the sign.
That's the sign right there.
And so, what I meant by that comment about most things never top out. Someone named for me an asset class that actually has like a newer asset class, something that's relatively new that actually has topped out. Right? I'm trying to think of like fidget spinners. Right? The top is in for fidget spinners for sure. I'm pretty confident in that.
You never know.
But you never know, right? You never know. Someone name me a new asset class that you think that has topped out, because I can't think of any. I can't.
And one thing I would say is that
Beanie Babies. Okay, Beanie Babies. You got me there.
There hasn't really been more of the use cases with NFTs just yet. And so that's what I'm looking for. More along when we start getting maybe these music NFTs to do a little bit better, maybe concert NFTs. I'm still looking for more use cases. And that's why I pay attention to kind of what is going to come in NFTs, not necessarily where we're at right now. Of course, a lot of the early inning projects are going to fail. That's normal. Whenever you're getting into a new area, you're going to always have failing projects. Now, one thing I pay attention to is, of course, what can kind of be consistent. That's why I talked about the NFT change with Topps not being consistent. That hurts the brand. That hurts the old cards. You want these projects to be consistent and stay true to the mission that they start with, not necessarily where they end.
Yeah, I mean, and you bring up use cases, Mitch, and I think definitely on the first iteration, we had a bunch of people asking that about NBA Top Shots. They're like, so what? I can own this clip. I can go out and watch this clip for free on Twitter or whatever. And I think now in this, resurgence of NFTs, we are seeing some more use cases. We're seeing these play to earn games that are capturing the attention of a younger crowd that you can get onto Decentraland or Splinterland or Zed's Run, which is the horse racing one. And now the NFTs do have more of a use case. They're more interactive than they were back in January. And I think we're just going to keep seeing developments. And I'm not saying there's any ceiling or top in sight for NFTs. I just wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these assets do kind of dip before then we see another resurgence. And who knows, that maybe that could be a month, 2 months from now. I don't know, but
I can tell you this much, Aaron. I've made some pretty hefty money in NFTs. Percentage-wise, it's massive. If I would have just put a good $10,000 into the first Muds release, I mean, I think I could have made $60,000. So it comes to show you that I think there's just going to be moments like you're talking about, hypes, waves. Where is my man, the one, the only, Neil?
Neil is doing, I don't know, he said there was like a fire he's putting out.
I have the video of life for him. I think we need to at least talk about it. Did you see that there was a mullet, a USA mullet championship of the world?
I saw this. Yeah, no, Neil wanted to be on today, but he literally messaged at 12:30. He's like, there's some fire. he's got to put out over the next 90 minutes. So he's probably out today. So that's just the way it goes sometimes.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I think at least in his honors, let's put this on just for a second here.
What
We
is
don't
the,
even have to put the audio. I could put the audio. I mean, let me reshare it with
is
audio.
this is the national mullet competition?
Yes.
Okay, but while you're getting that set up, I just want to let's
Wrap
be,
up on
let's
NFTs.
be serious for a second because we do have Sylvia Bellrock joining us in like 10 minutes or so, and we will get to charts for real. Like we'll have someone serious on and who will actually drop knowledge rather than us just talking about NFTs. Actually, speaking of NFTs,
We got a show NFTs.
we have an NFT show. If you guys didn't know that, new show. We only had like 2 episodes so far. The roadmap. 3 o'clock today. This stream will end and it'll redirect straight to the roadmap. And so NFTs, we are leaning in hardcore. And before I forget, there was a great question in the chat. I want to bring it up on the screen. It was from Shelly. Aaron Bree. What's up with this, man? Did Benzinga do an NFT money laundering video yet? It's been like 8 months.
What's going on, bro?
Oh,
Come
you're
on,
talking
bro.
about that's the unrelated. NFT money laundering is unrelated to rug pull. Don't worry about the rug pull video.
Where's the rug pull video?
It's coming out. We have it's in the editing process.
Can you come out before I die?
I think
Hey,
AB needs his rug pulled.
Do you know there's this director guy. His name's James Cameron. He put out a big blockbuster movie called Avatar a few years ago. And little does the public know that movie took more than 10 years to make. But was it worth it in the end? I don't know. I don't know either. But I'm not saying this is going to take 10 years. I'm just saying sometimes quality, takes a minute. You don't build Rome in a day. So we're doing, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. But my main man, Enver, he's enjoying his vacation this week. Once he gets back, boom, it's go time, baby.
Okay, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it though.
All right, hard deadline September 1st. If it's not out by September 1st,
oh my god,
you can
hold it to him.
September 1st.
Well, I don't know. What's a good bet?
3 weeks away. Okay, someone asked about the crypto in the infrastructure bill. Crypto is in the bill. I'm not sure if, because there were some changes that were being proposed. I don't know if those changes went through. I don't think they did. It has to do with how crypto is taxed, right? So that was from yesterday. Senate rejected a compromise to the tax amendment. So it looks like the change that was proposed did not go through. And this just comes down to like how brokers have to report crypto transactions. That's basically what it's at the crux of the issue here. So it looks like it's going to be, so the change that was proposed was currently, I'm just going to read you straight from, I'm sure Benzinga has an article about this too. The bill defines a broker as any person who is responsible for regularly providing any service or liquidity of digital assets on behalf of another person, which they were saying is way too broad of a definition, but that it could target miners, it could target stakers, developers. It looks like that wording is staying as is. So that we have a very broad definition of who is a crypto broker in the eyes of this infrastructure bill. I know they were trying to get that definition narrowed. It does not look like it happened. So this is one of those things where we won't know the effects of this maybe for years down the line. But if it does end up having a negative impact, they're gonna point to this bill as being the genesis of the problem. But for the moment,
well, this is just to get through the Senate, correct, Spencer? And then I know the House has its own blockchain committee. So I think the blockchain committee in the House is going to examine the crypto clause once it gets passed through Senate. So I definitely think we'll see, the blockchain committee, whatever that looks like. I think it's a bipartisan committee.
Do we think people on the blockchain committee know what blockchain is?
Dude, I don't know, because one of them was, I think, or who was it? The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott,
yeah,
signed a blockchain bill.
And he didn't even know what it was.
No, he had no freaking clue. But you could like he knew it was like a thing that people would respond well to, and he like made a Twitter video talking about the bill, and you could just tell he had no clue what blockchain is. But maybe the blockchain committee will. You know how maybe if you don't know the best about a subject, but you can like bring in smart people, maybe they'll do that. But I don't have that much faith they will.
Story of my life. Real fast, AB, did you get with Sylvia as far as the setup for today and all that?
I mean, we're all set for 1:30. I was kind of just gonna surprise her and tell her no Neil, unfortunately. But
my question is, does she have the links and all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just checking. Wait, Mitch, what were you going to say before all this? We got sidetracked on the Senate thing. I don't know.
I was going to bring the mullets in here.
Oh, yeah, the mullet.
Neil, it's not. I don't know if I should bring it up. I wanted to bring it up with Neil.
No. Let's do it without him, and then we'll do it again with him.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
All right. That doesn't sound too bad then. Because I can't let him down. I can't not show this while he's not here. I mean, come on. But let's go ahead.
Let's all use this time to make fun of Neil.
Yes.
And then tomorrow, when Neil is back,
we're going to clip this out and get this to Neil today. So I need you guys, chat, to go ham. Get weird. Where's the plant? We need to torture a plant first, but yeah, I don't know. We need the music. Where's the get weird music? Where's the Spice Girls at, man?
I actually we can pull up the playlist that Neil usually has on. It's the T-Pain one. What's it called again?
I got it.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's look into this. This was the Mullet Championship. We're going to look at the top 3 get announced right here, and we'll see which one does Neil look like. You guys let me know.
A winner here in just a moment. I'm with the judges, and they've made their decision on our winners. In third place,
we're still going to get hit for this.
Randy Rocket Man Barnaby.
Randy Rocket Man Barnaby coming in third place.
Oh, he was my winner.
It's a nice patch for all his effort in case he wants to hack that mullet right off.
USA Mullet Championships. Our champion, Brian Big Country Zooks World.
Well, you called it. How about that?
You know, it's something about the look, the slow motion flow,
place,
the way he was smiling.
Look at that hatchet.
The glue-on mustache. If that is a glue-on mustache, I think that's what won it for him.
Very effective. I wonder if the other fellows would have tried a little harder had they known they were going to be given a tomahawk.
Talk to me. 1 second. Congratulations. You're the 2020 winner.
What do we want to see? What is this?
How long do you think you're going to be growing your mullet?
I'm never cutting this thing.
Never cutting it.
Competing in it year after year with us?
Yes, sir.
So you'll be defending your championship, eh?
Try to.
You know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the 2020 champion, Mullet Championships, Brian.
Look at that hat.
Country Zooksworth.
Flex on him. Flex.
That was weird. I don't even know what I just watched.
I agree with Chris. The dude with the gray mullet had the best one, and that was just insane that he not only didn't win, but didn't even get second place.
America. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The one and only. Where you can have a mullet and you can be proud of it.
All right, I'm pulling up the Pizzle pack.
All right. So also, just get into like some stock stuff. Someone was mentioning in the chat that if I can show them how to kind of put together a little basket. If you guys want an industry on a basket, go ahead and throw some industries in the chat. I'll take a look.
Do we have any mullet stocks? Is a great question.
Mullet stocks.
I did make a live trade on the stream earlier. Bought some Callaway calls. I'm checking in on it now. Callaway is coming in, hitting in a high of the day. So that's looking nice. I just need it to keep coming back up, baby. Just keep coming, Callaway. Down about 3.5% right now. Was down 4.5% when I made the purchase. So yeah, we're looking for Callaway to just recover the losses from the earnings report. We do not need it to do anything crazy. Go up to $40. I'm going to get out of this contract as soon as it is profitable. Well, I shouldn't say that. As soon as it's like 10% to 20% profitable.
Oh man. Okay.
The one that I had pointed out, and that I think I even pointed it out on Power Hour, was DS. It has been making a good move from that 250 that we talked about it on Power Hour. That's Drive Shack. Got to know the Drive Shack, the puttery game. This is the competition to Top Golf.
Whoa.
Mitch, you got some echo there. Can you turn off your audio?
Oh, I know what happened there.
Yeah.
Boom. Fixed.
All right.
Double Mitch is a little bit too much. We can't handle that. All
much
right,
money.
Yeah, we'll see it. We'll see this. This is one that I gave out before from $2.99 and went up there towards $4. I think it can get back up there towards $3.50 at the minimum. I'll keep watching this one, Drive Shack. But I started seeing some industry talk in the chat about travel. A travel basket. We can try to put one of those together. The key with travel is that you're including a lot, right? You got lodging in there, you got airlines, you can look at cruises. So I like to stick a little bit closer inside of an industry. So maybe if we did like airlines or cruises, then we could kind of determine which ones. But I think we could try to do a travel.
Yo,
one.
Mitch, you know they already have those.
They have them, but some of them, I think what happens is
they're called
like
ETFs.
Yeah, but the
My
problem
friend
with
Spencer
that,
here can tell you about ETFs. You know.
yeah, I mean that's clear that they have ETFs, but they can't make as much money as I can.
I'm just messing
With
around.
my baskets.
Money as you can. Okay.
Well, I don't know, Spencer, Mitch, because some of these like direction,
We can
they
look
have
at my basket right now.
they
Look
have
at my
full-time
gambling.
employees that are spending night and day doing
Perfect.
this.
You know what? How about I bring a true life example right here? As simple as this. Let's look at Bets' earnings that it's made in the last week compared to my earnings that I've made in the last week, right? With the my basket, right? I mean,
Well, okay. How about
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Who's in your basket is what I care about.
I have RSI, I have Genie, I have DraftKings, and I
Okay, so this isn't okay. So these are all gambling stocks, and you're comparing it to gambling.
gambling ETF.
Okay,
And it made 9% while I made in the 20s.
But on the flip side, the Bets ETF could have more diversification, maybe
That's
a little
the
bit
difference.
bit
That's
less risk.
Exactly. What
So let's do this, Mitch. Let's set up a little friendly competition. You pick the industry. Say you want to pick travel. You compile a basket of travel stocks. Spencer and I will each pick a travel ETF, and we'll track the returns like over a month of the ETFs versus your basket.
I'll eat that ETF. Let's go.
All right,
let's go.
Let's do it. You like I
Name
said,
the
you pick
industry.
No, I said you pick the industry. I just threw travel out there because you had already brought it up. But if you want to do healthcare, if you want to do energy.
I gave one yesterday. I gave, if you guys were watching Money Mitch, I gave out a basket for LiDAR plays. So you can bring out a technology, ETF, whatever you want to grab now. I'm pulling out some LiDAR plays. You got to kind of get a little bit in the industry. I don't know if there's an exact ETF for that. So maybe look it up. But I'm telling you, man, I'll go against these ETFs. And the big thing is that one of the things is, like I talk about it, I try to get the top of the industry, not the whole industry. That's why the returns can be bigger. But of course, yeah, the risk is bigger too. But I mean, I'm here to play the game. I'm not here to sit back and relax. If I wanted to trade ETFs, I would just sit back.
Steven's saying AB is about to lose another bet. Steven, I want to lose this bet. I'm rooting for Mitch in this. I'm trying to push him further to selecting a great basket of stocks by competing against existing ETFs. But I'm going to be rooting for Benzinga here. I just think it would be a fun competition. So let's do it. I also saw someone, Shane was asking, what was my call with Callaway? Just real quick, essentially Callaway was down after earnings about 7% at its lowest point today. I bought some calls, $34 strike price for September 17th. My thesis there is just that the stock dropped too much after earnings. I don't think the uptrend is going to break. I think this is just a buy the dip opportunity. I'm not looking for Callaway to run, anywhere crazy, but just coming back into that $35 level.
Time for our guest, guys. Sylvia Bellrock. She's here in studio, backstage. Let's bring her on. AB. Hey.
Nice to see you, everyone. How are you?
Good. How's your day going?
We decided to make it a party.
That's good. So how are you doing? What are you trading, guys?
Great question. Mitch, AB have some YOLO trades on. Actually, no, I don't know if Mitch does. I know Aaron does. Mitch, I'm not trading. I've made 0 trades today. What are you trading? Let's start there.
I was looking at a clean spark because I was wondering if that was going to continue to run. That's kind of a Bitcoin run that happened yesterday. I know it's a big former runner, so I was wondering if that could start moving. You know, it's been one of those, you know, kind of like a meme stock, but I think it just has that hype behind it. Let's see how it's performing right now. I was watching it earlier today on a pullback. It looked interesting near this 1475 support. But I've been watching this one on kind of an hourly. It looks like it's just going sideways and it wants to break out on an hourly chart. Kind of show my chart here of it. But I would love to hear your approach and how you would kind of look at this stock, Sylvia.
Yeah, that looks actually very good. I like it. It's consolidating there. It looks like it's trying to find support. So if it goes above the previous candle's high, above, that's a very good breakout zone. It's testing it. If it goes above the previous red candle's high, this would be a good idea to go ahead and long it. Yeah, that looks not bad. Very good.
What did you look at today? Any stock that you traded today?
Yeah, so I have some things on the watch I can share. I was long Nasdaq, by the way. So some of you guys know I'm trading the Nasdaq futures, or in general, you know, the US indices futures. And this stopped me out for around break even. It dumped pretty fast, and I'm kind of a little bit angry about that because that happens a lot. You know, what you see a lot is when things start to get overextended like that and we start to lose momentum, then you start seeing a lot of a choppy price action starts to go sideways, and then all of a sudden it drops out of nowhere. And if you have long positions, it can be tough to hold for a longer period of time. So I'm trading on the 1 hour and on the 4 hour chart, those US indices, the futures. And, you know, like if you see the past 2 weeks, it goes up and then it dumps all of a sudden. You see those big red candles here, and that's enough to scare everyone out of the trade. And then a couple of days later, you see it's making a new high, you know, and it did that here too. It struggled to break out through this previous resistance, dumped, then went into the support. And this has been just a very sideways price action, very choppy price action. And, you know, I longed it at some point, added here, went high, and again, doing the same thing again, dumping. And, you know, you see those fast dumps. So this is basically for me an indication that we might see some kind of a correction very soon. And all those sideways consolidation moves are just a little bit sketchy to trade right now, you know.
So Sylvia, I know usually when you come on, we look at the mini futures. I just want to know, kind of for some of our newer traders out there, what's the benefit to trading the mini futures as opposed to the regular, you know, QQQ futures and things along those lines?
Yeah, sure. So basically the huge advantage of that is that you can trade with a small account, and those move. Of course, you have leverage, but if you have small account and you want to avoid PDT rule, for example, you don't have that on futures. So you can start easily with 5,000 or 10,000 account, and you can trade those without, you know, having a lot of trouble. You have, of course, you need leverage, buying power, but you really need a small account. And also you can grow your account very fast if you know what you're doing, of course. So I really like those, you know. Depends on the futures. You can use those, for example, RTY, the small one moved like, I think it was like $5. Those really don't move compared to the big futures a lot. So they don't have such leverage, I mean, so you can really use that.
Beautiful. And then do you have can we take a little sneak peek at your Excel spreadsheet and see what your watch list is looking like right now?
Sure, we can do that. Let me find that real quick. Close open. Okay, so I have here, for those of you guys who don't know what is this about, so I basically have on an Excel sheet, which is shared for the members. If you want, you can check that on sylviabellrock.com. I have all my trades live, all the results, all my open and close trades, and also all the stocks which I'm watching, and I'm updating it a couple of times per week. And I have like right now I have a lot of stocks, so I don't really want to put too many stocks on there. And I think those are enough for the whole week, even maybe for the next 2 weeks. Let's see. But right now I'm watching here PGNY and RVLV. So those are my main watches from Sunday from the watch list. We can go ahead and check those out.
Yeah, let's do it. And I know I see CLF Cleveland Cliffs there as well. That's one of our favorite stocks here on Get Technical. We look at the chart of Cleveland Cliffs a lot, so we can check in on that one as well. But let's start. Where are we starting right here?
Yeah, I'm starting now with PGNY. We can check out CLF first. Let's check out CLF. I simply didn't watch it because I had it on Sunday and it already broke out. So for me, that's that's too late.
We missed the move already. All right, well, we can start with PGNY, whatever order you want to go in.
So yeah, this one broke out just real quick. It pulled back, and I like those when they move, when they make that kind of a move. A couple of green candles in a row, nice momentum based on earnings, especially. Those are earnings winners. And then what you wait for is after that they pull back, but they don't pull back a lot, especially when it comes to earnings winners. They just pull back a little bit, start to consolidate a tiny bit around EMAs, like I have here 9, 20, and 50 EMA. And you see this was the signal here actually 2 days ago, broke out very, very good. So this has been a good one. But again, it's too late here, so I would personally not chase it anymore. Then PGNY. PGNY I really like because we have here very good risk reward. So if I go back on the chart, this is the 3-year chart. You see this has been a very nice uptrending stock, nice momentum to the upside, small pullbacks. So all those things what you want to see when it comes to trading on the long side. And this time we have the gap down based on earnings. So sometimes we have, sometimes the earnings can be good and we still can see a gap down. That's why this is one of the reasons why I personally don't like trading before earnings, because you just don't know what you're going to what's going to happen. So this is going to can end up very bad in some cases. So personally, I'm waiting after the earnings are out and to see this gap down here. And I like that we are trying to hold here this previous support. We are slightly below, but if we make it to reclaim those 200 EMA and go above, so this is what I'm looking for, this consolidation zone. If we go above this candle's high, this candle, this would be very good, and for me, very good long setup. Of course, I don't want to see something red like that. So if we close red like this candle, this might not be very good anymore. So we're waiting to see here some kind of a, some green candle or some bullish candlestick pattern. And then if this happens, the stop can be placed here just below this consolidation area. And then you have a lot of room into the previous resistance areas here. Also, this is previous resistance and maybe all-time highs, which is 66, 61. So that's one with very good risk reward.
So your entry point is if it gets down to this, you said the purple line was what, the 200-day moving average?
Yeah, that's the 200 moving average. And also another good thing is this is oversold RSI. So I really like looking when it comes to growth stocks or when it comes to stocks which have some decent momentum and nice uptrend. I like to see if they are oversold. If I see that, that's for me a very, very good setup, because normally you don't see those growth stocks like that pulling back a lot. So what you see is a little bit of a pullback, maybe here around 30, but you will not see them often go below 30. And this is for me a good sign that we might see some kind of a bounce of this area. So we have a couple of factors here. Support, which is slightly broken, but it can still reclaim. We have 200 EMA, so if we manage it to stay above this area, this is a very good setup on the technical side, of course.
So you have your RSI set at 70 and 30, correct?
Yeah, that's 70 and 30, yeah.
Okay, I know some traders have 80 and 20, so I just like to always know kind of what we're looking at when it comes to the RSI.
I agree. I agree. It's a very important. You can have that slight difference, but I love how you pointed out here, Silva, that if you look back on time, every single time we've gone down to these levels, the stock has risen off of that RSI. So I think that's an important thing to point out. That's the history, and then if you're attacking at least history, at least you got probability on your side. So I think it's a very important thing to point out.
Yeah. Also something to mention here, because this does not mean that if it is oversold, you should immediately sell, or this can drop, or you should short. This is very important, because when it comes to growth stocks, momentum stocks, or even the US indices, they can stay here overbought for a very long period of time. So you can see them staying over 70 RSI. They can drop a little bit lower, then go back over 70. This can go for months. And if you're trying to short those only because you see it's overbought and above 70, this is just not going to work, and you're going to burn probably a lot of capital. That's why when I see that, it's good time maybe to exit positions, but that's never for me a sign I'm going to short this only because it's overbought, you know.
Got it. All right. Well, let's move on to the next stock on the watch list. I believe that was here, ticker HEAR.
Here, yes. Yeah, let's see this one. This is a stock which I traded a lot in the past. Actually, I traded a couple of times here, brought it many times. It's been working very, very good. And same thing. So we see that a lot of times recently, that all those nice growth stocks, nice momentum names, they drop after earnings. And normally that's not because they all of a sudden start to make losses or something. They just don't meet the expectations. And I think that's pretty normal, because if you have a stock which is growing, let's say 30% earnings per share or revenue quarter after quarter over the past years, that's pretty normal that at some point they stop the growth and they start slowing down a little bit, and don't have too many growth expectations, and then you see then based on earnings some kind of a gap down or drop. But what I like, this is very similar setup to the previous one. It is the difference is it is right above the 200 EMA, and it is not right at support. So what we see here is after this breakout, the stock started to pull back and went into almost the 200 EMA. And after that, you see how well it respects support and resistance. So this was the previous breakdown area, which is a resistance area, and it rejected a couple of times here, here one more time. And now it is trying to make a double bottom, bouncing off this 200 EMA with doji candle, which is even a better thing, and followed by a green candle. So I actually bought this one yesterday. I want to see, of course, a little bit more momentum. But this is for me key here to hold this area, and stop can be placed just below the 200 EMA. So you have here double bottom, you have doji candle followed by a green candle, and also still in the oversold area. So that's not really oversold, but it's in the lower RSI area. So you have a very good risk reward here too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we see the stock all the time in the chat. I've never been in it, but I like when we see these, get down to. It kind of looks similar to the last chart we looked at. If it gets down to that moving average, it's not as oversold as PGNY was. But I think if we do see it drop, that RSI drop a little bit more, it becomes even more of a good opportunity to buy. But what would be your price target? Is it the previous all-time high?
Yeah, the target is previous all-time high. I really like that maybe for a middle terms swing trade. So not really for, I might hold a couple of months. So I have, when it comes to swing trading, I have different strategies. Some I hold really for maybe a couple of years, which is going actually into investing. Some I like holding a couple of months, and some I can hold only a couple of days or, a couple of weeks. So this is something I might hold even for months.
Yeah, I could see seasonality coming into play with a play like this. One of the things that I see all the time is kind of a November to December run in gaming. This just comes into play a lot of the times with Black Friday and Christmas shopping. People want to go they go buying early, you know, and they usually go buying in late November. So that's kind of the run that I could see coming into this. And last time we actually broke out in 2020, we broke out going into December. So I'll be looking at this play too. I like the play. I think it's definitely going to have a little bit maybe of a sideways trend here. I don't even see it coming back down towards that support. I see it kind of coming a little bit sideways here, but we'll see. Because one of the things is we've been having, I think the only thing holding this stock down is the negative press in, like, let's say Activision or something like that. Other than that, I like it technically here. And I think this is one stock that does have an advantage in the industry.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you. That's a very good looking stock, has some potential.
All right, let's go to the next one. What else we got here?
Let me see, I forgot.
I forgot too.
I know there's one more.
RVLV, yeah, this went actually already. I don't know really about this one. It's kind of overbought, but it has a huge potential. A lot of funds are buying it, so I think it was something like over the past 7 quarters, it's like 28% more funds are buying this stock. So this has a lot of potential based on that. We always want to go, you know, with the big boys and the funds and flow, and not against. So you see that also on the chart. You know, all those funds are always leaving marks on the chart. If you see that kind of a trend for a long period of time, this means someone is constantly buying this stock. And you know, nice momentum. This went from 17. This was somewhere in October last year, 70 to 74, and it's still going. You know, came here only for a couple of weeks in a sideways price action pullback, and after that, it never looked back. Similar thing to the other stocks. Gap down based on earnings. Now it has this reversal candle, and it looks like it's trying to reclaim again those EMAs here. And, you know, it's not bad. I really don't like the fact that it went already that fast. I would like to have it here at 63.90, somewhere here, 63.50. Now it's already, you know, 66. So I really don't like chasing it. Maybe if we got a little bit of a pullback here into the 63.50 area, you know, something like that will be better for me. I don't like chasing it here right away below those EMAs, but it is still a very good stock to watch.
Yeah, do you like playing a lot of gap down plays?
If I see them, yes, I like that. Especially, actually, one of my favorite setups is when I see a nice growth stock which has really decent potential and good fundamentals, potential to continue growing. Mm-hmm. And they have some kind of a gap down, or they have you know, oversold conditions. They are going into the 30 or even below 30 RSI, somewhere around support area. So this is a very good risk reward to me, because you don't see that a lot. Normally they don't go into oversold a lot of times. So when I see that, that's for me a good looking play.
Yeah, it's a good combination of using two variables versus just one. So
yeah.
And so we took a look at all the stocks on the watch list. Anything you want to go back on the futures, talk about kind of broader markets? What's going on, Sylvia?
I have some more. I have some Etsy I'm looking at.
Oh, you're looking at Etsy? All right, let's take a look.
Yeah. I've been trading this a lot in the past. Here it came back down, long consolidation. Now similar thing based on the earnings and slower growth. It pulled back a little bit into the 200 EMA. So for me, this has also long-term some good potential to continue higher. And I really like to hold it maybe for a longer term, medium term to longer term trade. Similar situation, what we saw, you know, holding here this breakout zone. This is back here, 174. And now it's trying to, you know, to reclaim those EMAs and go higher. So for me, this is a good looking setup. If you enter here 189.22, where it is right now, and stop here just below 172, below the 200 EMA, that will be good. I also want to wait it out how it closes. So normally when it comes to swing trading, I like to wait out and see how everything closes, because sometimes you see everything looks fine, and then by the end of the day you might see a huge drop or sell off. So I'm trying to avoid that, and I want to see how the candle is closing before I enter the trade. So I might wait out a little bit on this, but this is definitely something on watch.
I like that approach that you're waiting toward the close, looking for the close candle. I always talk about how important that is. You know, a lot of people look at wicks, and then they don't realize what actually happened there. A lot of times you get those washout wicks where it's just a big wick in the morning, 9:30, but then when you actually look at how the stock traded in the actual trading range, it really wasn't that wide. It's just kind of more to scare people out a lot of the times.
Yeah, that's true. And that's a lot of algorithms as well. You know, that's the question. That's the point here, because when they try to get some of the stops out of the market, then you might see quick flush and then reversal back. So that's normal.
When you try to get entries, do you use any other indicator to kind of get you to levels? Are you trying to buy off support, resistance? What is your approach to actually, once you, let's say if it was Etsy now, to actually attack an entry?
Yeah, so I'm looking the price action over the past days. Of course, I'm looking the candles. I want to see a little bit more green here, and I didn't like this wick here how it closed, so I just wanted to wait it out and see if we see a little bit more green or if it's going to go lower. So for now, this looks fine to me. You know, a couple of green days. And I'm looking at those kind of a candlestick formations. So you either have some kind of a doji candle or bullish engulfing pattern around support area. And it would be even better if it is somewhere in an oversold area, like I mentioned. And that's what I'm looking at. Of course, you can use, or I'm using sometimes, scaling in and out factors here, where you can just start to scale in. So let's say you're picking two support areas, and we're never perfect as traders. So normally what you're going to see is that sometimes you'll be too early or too late in the stock. So what you can do is start a smaller position or 50% of your position, and then if it goes to the previous support area, then add the other half. So in this way, you don't have to be perfect all the times, and you can be a little bit more flexible with your entries. That's the positive thing. The negative thing, though, is if you do this approach, you have to be very disciplined. So if this thing starts to break the lower support area and go below your mental stop loss or physical stop loss, you have to get out of the stock, because only because it's going low, you cannot continue adding. So at some point, it has to be end of this scaling in, and deciding when are you wrong on the setup and when should you get out.
I agree. I think it's definitely important to talk about sizing in and learning that, hey, I mean, we're probably not always going to be perfect right on our first buy, and especially with free commissions. I think this is something that most people just don't even think about. But instead, they just go ahead and they just, let's say they were going to get 100 shares. They put out an order for 100 shares versus putting out separate orders at, let's say, even 10 shares or 20 shares per that order, and then stacking it down through the levels like you're talking about. It's going to give you an advantage, right? I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
Free commissions, got to use them.
Yes, definitely. I think the only thing is that's a little bit more advanced. If you're completely new to trading, and you might get scared if things start to go against you and stuff like that. So that might be a little bit overwhelming for completely new people. But if you have a little bit experience, that's actually a very good approach.
Definitely. Anything else, AB?
Well, I was just gonna thank Sylvia again for coming on this Tuesday, like she always does. Unfortunately, no Neil today. Sylvia, I think he ate some more of that medium rare chicken, so we'll have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I told him to stop cooking that chicken in the microwave, but
he doesn't listen. Yeah. But yeah, for all you folks out there that might not be familiar, check out SylviaBellrock.com. I'm dropping that link in the chat. It should also be in the description, as well as follow Sylvia on Twitter at Sylvia Bellrock for some great technical analysis, really.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mitch. It was a pleasure, of course, as always, to be here with you and share some ideas and also see what you're trading. And yeah, I was surprised that Neil is not here, but next Tuesday. And it was a pleasure to talk to you as well. So thank you.
Next
Definitely,
Tuesday.
thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you again, Sylvia.
Hey man, well there you have it. Some charts. I'm gonna actually be watching here. Really, I think it's a good looking chart. I definitely think it can go a little sideways.
Oh, here.
Yeah, HEAR. I'm gonna be watching that stock. I love that stock. I think it's a great one. I think with the consoles also, I think we should have another ramp in those kind of products going into November and December.
We do have VV Biotech coming on at 2:30. In the meantime, at 2, we have the Benzinga Crypto Show with producer Aaron and crypto extraordinaire Catherine Ross.
Was that my cue to hop in? What's up, boys? What's up? How's it going?
It's good to have you guys. It's a full house I see now.
Yeah, we got Spencer joining us. Catherine's in the backstage, so we're going
The queen is here.
Exactly.
Queen of crypto.
So we're going to change over the branding. It looks like Spencer already took care of it. Thank you, Spencer. And we're going to kick it off.
Aaron, watch this. You ready?
Aaron.
I'm ready.
Producer Aaron.
Boom. And we're back. What's up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Benzinga Crypto Show. Joined with me, as always, is the lovely Catherine Ross. Spencer, he just tagged along. You know, he's here. He's always
I'm just here to hang.
He never goes anywhere.
I'm here to keep the music going.
Pretty much. And yes, I do dig the Pizzle Pack. Shout out to the Pizzle Pack. It's a dope playlist. So with that, yes, I know. I love saying dope playlist. You know, it really gets the kids hyped up.
Did you say the kids?
Yeah, the kids. They use that terminology all the time. You know, it's dope.
Aaron's like fresh out of high school, I think.
Yeah,
he is a kid.
Fresh out of high school.
Aren't you? You know,
actually, I'll take that. I'll take that. If I look young, then that's a plus for me. All right, let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about, especially some big news that dropped today. But before that, let's take a look at the crypto markets and let's see what that's looking like today, Catherine.
Oh yeah.
All right, there we have it. Bitcoin, Ethereum are having a red day today, but only at around 2% losses, close to it, just below it actually. But BNB, ADA, XRP all looking strong. So Catherine, let us know. What are your thoughts here?
Well, first of all, Spencer left.
He'll be back.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I turn me here. I'll turn my camera back.
Are you going to talk to us?
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Of course, Spencer's always going to talk to us.
I'm still here.
Yeah, so actually what we're seeing right now, it's very interesting, I think. Last week we had this huge London, hard fork with Ethereum, and the price went as high as $3,000 over the weekend. So it's pretty huge, right? And today we're seeing a bit of a losses in price. And I do have an explanation because I've heard analysts saying that was just a very short correction based on the news we had last week, and that we might see a fall down from here, which is, I think this is what we're seeing right now. I'm not sure. No one's actually sure. This is crypto. Welcome to crypto. But I'd love to bring your attention to one fun fact. That's not fun. But first of all, the recent estimates show that you remember, guys, that this is a hard fork and the Ethereum coins have been burned to make sure that we don't have overinflations with coins. And one of the reasons that it was done to kind of avoid huge transaction fees, which Ethereum miners, I'm sure, are not happy with, but this is what it is. So, and the recent estimates, as I've said, show that in a year, we will see 1.83 million Ethereum being burned, which is approximately $5 billion. $5 billion in Ethereum will be burned in a year. So that is very interesting, I think. But
That's crazy.
it is. But this is crypto for you guys. One of them, it's actually very interesting that we saw this, like this weekend was pretty huge for the crypto industry, and we again saw like huge gains, which was all over crypto Twitter. And thank God I was off because that's just like, oh, we're up again. I can't see it anymore. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so today we see that the crypto capitalization, the market capitalization of the entire crypto market has reached 1.9 trillion for the first time since May. And I can actually, if you guys recall, May is the month when we saw the biggest the biggest prices ever, with Bitcoin kind of reaching out to 60K and a little bit higher. So you see, we're still good. We're still hanging in there. I'm not sure what's going to happen next. But yeah, one more fun fact, which if you're looking at Spencer's face, does not seem fun at all.
Spencer's having so much fun.
I'm multitasking. I'm listening. I'm multitasking. Give me a break, everyone. What's going on, Catherine? I'm here.
Okay, so thanks for asking. But there are actually several coins that have performed better this year.
Oh, that's such a fun fact. Oh, wait, you didn't say it yet. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I'll let you know when you have to.
Oh,
You know.
Spencer.
Okay, just tell me when to laugh, and I'll laugh. Tell me when to clap, and I'll clap.
Oh, could you just like that sound?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Great.
In a couple of seconds. So Solana and Terra have actually performed 8 times better than Ethereum. Spencer? Yes, 8 times better than Ethereum.
We do actually have a graphic for that, so let me just pull that up. It's going to cover our faces, but go ahead and just keep talking.
We can work with that. Yeah, but as you can see, guys, this is a pretty huge, pretty great graphics. I love it. It shows how much better or worse different.
This is since when?
August 10th.
That's today.
That is today.
Yeah, that's today. I think this is supposed to be in a year. Yeah.
Wait, we don't know how far back.
Since the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Oh, I get what you're asking, Spencer. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually funny. Yeah, August 10th is today. Okay. The funny thing again is that Binance Coin BNB has actually performed 3 times better than Ethereum. In terms of gains, not in terms of price, because they have different prices, but in terms of gains. Spencer. Thank you. So as you can see, a lot of things are going on. It's pretty interesting. So this is the time where things are happening. And speaking of the time when things are happening, I'm going to go right to it and talk about the biggest DeFi hack so far that we have seen today, right? So Poly Network was hacked, for which accounts, I think, almost $700 million so far. It has not been confirmed. It's the latest, right? So it is largest DeFi hack up to today. Hopefully the largest ever. The thing is that I've talked to you guys about that. DeFi exchanges, DeFi platforms, they are decentralized platforms that apparently do not have anyone to take charge of them. The entire idea of them is that people are just like contributing their coins, creating liquidity pools, and earn interest based on how many coins they have contributed. And it's decentralized. No one, developers do not have any governance over that. Some platforms actually offer governance tokens instead, based on how many coins you have contributed. And so those governance tokens actually allow you to vote for changes, but not all of DeFi platforms do that. And so, but these are DeFi platforms for you guys. And this is what happens. The slightest bug in a smart contract, which those DeFi platforms are built on, the smallest bug, the technical error, can can make this money disappear. This is not the one. That was not the technical issue. I mean, the general issue with DeFi platforms is that they're very new. They have not been tested enough to make sure that smart contracts are developed properly. And this is what we're seeing today. Again, not the technical issue, but cross-chain protocol Poly network has been hacked. For the latest update was 611 million. Not a very it's a very painful number, and I've seen all over Twitter that people have lost money. People are not happy, and this is the thing: they're not going to get their money back. And I've been pretty critical.
Yeah, this is crazy because I was reading this earlier, and this last line right here. So this is what like blows my mind, and obviously these are the risks that you guys partake in when investing in crypto.
Well, you guys is you too. Is all of us.
Yes, all of us, everybody. These are the risks that everybody partakes in when investing in crypto. Additionally, the team promised to take legal actions and asked the hackers to return their stolen funds.
Oh,
they can't do anything about it. They just simply ask them to return it. It's not like they ever will. So that money's gone, right? And it'll get cycled in when they go to spend that money, and that's the only way that it'll be returned. But simply asking this hacker to return the funds, it's not going to be returned.
The thing is that Poly network was not the only one to get hurt, right? So first of all, it's a protocol for swapping tokens across multiple blockchains, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ontology.
Oh, wait. So MTB Adventures said the hacker has already been found.
Yes.
He sent some funds from a wrong address, which was linked to his FTX and Binance KYC. What an idiot! Damn, smart enough to hack the Poly network for 611 million, but stupid enough to get caught. Like, dang.
Yeah, he actually left a couple of traces that a researcher from the blog and blockchain security firm Slow Mist has been able to identify in a way. So they have tracked the attacker's ID. So this firm claims to know their email addresses, as you guys just said, IP information, and device fingerprint.
Nope.
So apparently this guy was not using okay, so what is the most secure browser out there? Is it I forgot. Not MetaMask, but MetaMask is also the one. I think it starts with B. Oh my god. What is the safest browser out there, guys?
DuckDuckGo is right. That's super private.
The dark.
I thought it was Internet Explorer.
My bad, guys.
I'm pretty sure it's Internet Explorer.
No.
Brave? I don't know.
So yeah, and the guy did not even use VPN. I know to use VPN. I do that.
It is Brave. BJ in the chat said Brave. So.
BJ!
Shout out to you.
Brave. Yes, thank you. So this is the safest browser out there. We here in authoritarian countries, we use those tools to kind of make sure that, first of all, we can access sites like Twitter and LinkedIn, because it has been banned in Russia and CIS countries. Not good, right? But it's also kind of protects your IP, so you can tweet safely about very bad presidents out there. So yeah, and the guy was not happy enough, so he has already returned some funds, and obviously Poly network asked users to block their funds to make sure that they're secure. So we're gonna keep you guys updated on Benzinga.com on the upcoming, obviously, news. This is not the latest update that we're gonna see today, and hopefully today, but tomorrow. But this is what you get if you invest in, or if you become a liquidity provider in DeFi platforms. Be safe. Make sure your funds are secure. And one more thing, and before we invite our guest, so Cardano, and as you have previously seen here, Cardano is actually in the green, and Cardano was perceived like this peer-to-peer platform, which was created by Charles Hoskinson, who is also a co-founder of Ethereum. again, right? So he shifted his focus from Ethereum to Cardano and IOHK, the development firm. And he said in a latest interview to Bloomberg, he said that Cardano is a big believer in human rights, and that Cardano is not going to build identity solutions in countries that have a record of very significant institutional violations. I do have a couple of countries in mind for that one. Yeah, but again, I'm not really sure about that. So this is the solution that they offer in the company, right? Identity solutions. So it might be like digital passport or digital platform that holds your medical record. This is very useful for citizens. But if the government is something that you cannot trust, obviously they can use it for different reasons. But in the end, the citizens are actually the ones who get hurt. And this is I can talk about politics for a very long time.
This is human rights in correlation to like access to these digital funds.
They're not going to make these platforms available at all. So it's not going to be limited. It's not going to be like in some way available, not available at all. They're not going to come to that countries. They're not going to build these solutions for. Again, I have a couple of
interesting. Yeah, no, go ahead and give us more of your thoughts there.
Our guest is not yet here. So
our guest actually just showed up. So
I stand corrected.
We are ready to move on. But Catherine, go ahead and wrap up your thoughts there with that.
Oh, yeah, they just said, Cardano just said that they have started building in Ethiopia, but then the government was not, first of all, happy with that solutions being available in the country, and then they have revealed that the human rights have been violated, surprise, and they decided to kind of, close the business and went somewhere. And Charles also points out that this is very difficult to build a company like that, and it's even more difficult to keep tabs on what's going on. But he himself says that he is devoted to make sure he is aware of every decision that is being made in a company to avoid that kind of partnership and solutions being built in the wrong place. Yeah.
All right, Aaron, who's our guest?
Our guest for you guys today is a special one. He is Shane Anstey from LQWD. He is here to talk about, his company, what they're doing in the crypto space. So here to provide more on that is the man himself. Let's bring him on. Shane, how's it going?
Hi, I'm well, thank you. So it's pronounced liquid.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what I was going to say. I wanted to say liquid. I was going to say liquid, but
LQWD is fine. That's our ticker symbol on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and so
there we go.
We've got the marketing on both sides, and I appreciate it. So, we're a Lightning Network service provider. We're a Lightning Network company. Happy to be here and talk about what we do and where we're at in the space. Spencer, I see you're over in Israel. That's great.
Yes.
Kolakavod. That's good. I spent a little time there.
Spencer's last name is actually Israel.
Do you speak the language?
I don't speak. I speak like 4 words of Hebrew, guys. So you're talking to the wrong crowd here. Explain what Liquid and what you guys do.
Yeah, so Liquid, we're involved in the Bitcoin Lightning Network space. We're what they call a Bitcoin Lightning Network service provider. So we have what is known as a platform as a service, where we make it very easy for companies to abstract away all the complications of spinning up a Lightning Network node, and getting liquidity, which we help provide, and connecting to APIs and make it very simple in that perspective there. So that's our base product, and we're going to continue to grow with that. And we're having we have a great team that's been together for a number of years. So we've had success in the past in the crypto space. We're not new to the public markets, and we actually my background is with another company called Big Digital Assets, which is a compliance company and runs one of Canada's largest crypto exchanges. So from that, we've moved on to the Lightning Network, which we feel very strongly is going to be one of the next major catalysts for crypto and Bitcoin as it moves forward.
You've touched a little bit on what was I going to ask you about Lightning Network. So you feel that this is more secure and faster way to work with infrastructure?
Right. So one of the things it does is it takes Bitcoin and it allows it to scale from, say, 7 transactions a second by adding in that other layer of technology that rides on top of it. Currently, it can handle about 25 million transactions a second and growing. So there's really no limit to what the Bitcoin Lightning Network can handle. And we know that a lot of big companies like Square Crypto, Jack Dorsey for Twitter, they're clearly going to get into the space, and they will be using it as a last mile solution.
Walk me through the infrastructure kind of thing. What kind of solutions, except the Bitcoin Lightning Network, do you provide to enterprise? Are they interested in that? Do you work with Canada or other countries?
Right. So we really only work with enterprises. We only care about the Netcoins of the world, the exchanges of the world, the larger wallet providers. We've bought a bunch of Bitcoin. We continue to buy Bitcoin in the millions, and we have that Bitcoin to put to work on the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So one of the jobs that we do as a Lightning Network service provider is not only provide an easy-to-use platform, but we're able to pipe in our own liquidity, our own Bitcoin, to ensure that they always have liquidity within their channels. So that's a technical requirement of the network, and in exchange for doing that, we earn fees off of the network.
There is a rumor on the street that approximately 6% of just people who invested in Bitcoin hold over 90% of the entire Bitcoin. You've just mentioned that you have bought millions of Bitcoin. Are you the one?
Well, millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, so not millions of Bitcoin. So,
okay.
No, I've personally been in Bitcoin for a long time, and so have other members of the team. And I'm sure there are some major holders and what have you. And we'll continue to see that disperse, and as it gets sold off over time, and there's many more hands that are in the space.
What kind of clients do you have? And again, like, are you only working with Canada or other countries?
Yeah, so we have some clients coming up here with their exchanges here in Canada, maybe close to them. And we have some other partnerships and places happening down south. We're a public company, so we haven't disclosed it yet. So I'm reticent to discuss it publicly. We have to do it through proper channels, but we are open to companies all around the world. We're working with companies in Israel and other players in the space, and getting our name out there and continue to offer our services to not only support and build a great company, but to support the ecosystem as well and be a good community member. So we're open to the globe, and we are going to be established. We're here in Vancouver, Canada, but we will be establishing an office in San Francisco down the valley very soon. As soon as, now that I've had a double shot and we can get on a plane, we're allowed to travel, we'll get ourselves back out there, and we'll be spending some time in New York as well. So we're maybe in Canada, but we're definitely international.
This is a bit of a expansion plan, right? And to touch that a little bit, what are your further extension plan and expansion plans? Are you planning on working with other cryptocurrencies rather than Bitcoin only, or?
Well, technically, the Lightning Network software will work with Litecoin itself, and that may be something we might support in the future, but we are very much a pure play, and we're focused entirely on Bitcoin. We're focused entirely on the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So if you want exposure to that in the public markets, we are the only publicly traded company in the world that is entirely focused on the Lightning Network. And so if you want exposure to that in your portfolio, we're someone you should take a look at. We're not interested in other cryptos at this time. We're only Bitcoin. And I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist in that sense. I like technology, and I like some of the stuff that's going on some of the other platforms. And I'm very curious where they're going to go. But from a company standpoint, what we do, we're focused on one thing and one thing only.
On that note, I had a question about that. So you're traded publicly in Canada on the TSX. In the U.S., you trade on the OTCQX.
Correct.
Okay. Any plans to uplist to one of the exchanges here in the U.S.?
Yeah, that's certainly TSX Venture is our main exchange right now, and as we continue to grow the company, raise more capital, and expand, we will look for strategic acquisitions. This is in our business plan that's being disclosed. We'll look to uplist. Certainly, the next step for us there will be the OTCQB on best market, and the QX as we get to the QX, and of course, a lot of Canadian companies like Hot 8, Bitfarms. Hive, they've all gone up to the NASDAQ. So we know these people. It's a small industry, and that would definitely be a roadmap for us. We'd be very interested in, but we're going to stay focused on what we have right now in front of us and continue to execute on the immediate plan over the next of the coming months.
No, Catherine, go ahead.
I also have a question about going public in Canada. We have been asking our guests from Canada who are publicly traded or are going to be publicly traded sometime soon. Walk us through the process of getting ready to be a company, to become a company that is publicly traded but related to Bitcoin in Canada, and how is it different from the entire process in the US if you're familiar with the process in the US?
Right. So a lot of companies go public in Canada by either two ways. You either do a straight IPO and you list directly. The more common way is the way that we've done it, others are doing it, is with a reverse takeover, where there's a public vehicle, perhaps already in the space, has a list of shareholders, it has capital in the company already, and the reverse takeover process is where enough shares are issued to the company coming in that they effectively take over management and control of the board. And that's one aspect and why it's very popular up here. It's kind of like, I guess, your SPACs down there, from what I understand. Now, if you're going to go public, or if you're going to be bought by a public company, the most important thing you have to have is you have to have the ability to get an audit. And we'd like to tell this to a lot of startups, a lot of small companies that are coming up there. We have an eye on them, and we keep telling them you have to have very good record keeping, and you have to be able to have an auditor go through it, your stuff, and sign off on it. If your auditors can't sign off on it, we can't buy you. Simple as that. And if you don't have an audit, you can't go public. So record keeping is so very, very important. So certainly, good management team, capital backers, good structure for the vehicle. That there's we know who's got who's who and who owns the shares and what's going on in the marketplace. But from a pure going public standpoint, you have a good business plan, and you certainly want to be able to get in front of regulators and explain how you're handling, things like custody, chain of all the different chains, your record keeping, what you're doing in the space. Do you have good securities lawyers on hand? So you have to have all your ducks in a row. There's a lot of they put a lot of barriers up there. It can take quite a bit of time, and you have to have deep enough pockets to do it. And so having a good securities lawyer, a great chief financial officer, is one of the first things you should be looking at. And you should be looking at it early on within your team and getting a chief financial officer in there. If your intent is to go and list in the Canadian public markets or US public markets, like our strategy, it's one of the first things you need to do, one of the first things that we did. And like I said, once again, all of that is related to getting an audit and being able to maintain an audit and making sure that you can get sign off on it. Because if you can't get that, you won't get listed. The regulators won't push you through. The TSX or any exchange will not allow you to list. And certainly from a public company standpoint, as a private company, we can't buy you and bring you into the public company.
All that being said, Shane, there are a lot of public companies out in the crypto space right now in the U.S. and in Canada. Are there any things like common red flags that you, because you've been around for you've been in this industry for a while, any red flags that you see repeatedly that maybe we should know about, that would when you're looking at a company?
Yeah, when looking at the company, first thing, if I look at a company, I want to assess it just from heads down. Cash on hand, size of the float. First off, if I like them in the space. Second off, management team. But more importantly, when we look at companies, what's the asset test? The asset test is their engineering team. Great engineers have the ability to work anywhere they want, and they can smell a bad management team from a mile away. And if you see them and they don't have top-rate engineers, something's wrong. You just have to wonder, why can't they attract top engineers? Top engineers can go there if they have such a great product and such a great team. Why are they going to be there? Is the management team, do they have an issue with, do they not know the space? Are they just simply looking for a stock promotion? What's going on? And so that's one of the places that we look for, is the major asset test. Do they have a great team on that perspective? And then from there, we take it from there.
Oh, how do you know that though?
Well, I mean, that's the trick, right? So we have great engineers. We've had success in the space, and you have to look at the track record what the engineers have actually worked on, and they committed code to GitHub. You can look at their code in GitHub. Are they good coders? Are they great coders? Are they involved in the community? Are they working and they're surrounding themselves with other great coders? And so if they have the engineering strength, then and they're working for a company, then that says a lot to us that the management team is if they've been able to hold on to them, that they may have something and they have the ability to execute, which is a big thing.
When you say size of the float, is there a number? Is there like a hard line you draw, like above or below a certain number, whether it's 5 or 10 or 20 million? I don't know.
It really depends on the stage of the company. So we have there's 73 million out there, mostly tightly held. You really want to look at who's got the blocks. Yeah. Fully diluted, I think we're 93. And so we're keeping it under a certain level for a certain period of time. And as the company matures and you do higher rounds, are you able to do, you start with a round that maybe 5 million, 10 million, and do another round that's 20, move to 50. As your share price moves up and your capital, your capital size moves up. Some firms won't invest in unless you have a market cap north of 150 million plus.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But so there's a little bit of art and science to it, but ultimately, if they're making progress and they don't have, a billion shares outstanding and there's 3 guys in a room, that's kind of, it's a little different. You're looking at a mature company could have 1 billion shares outstanding, but they have 1,000 employees and what have you, right?
75 million is nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of these companies in the space. I said 5, 10, 15 because you have smaller flows, it seems like. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and you need enough out there also in the marketplace to get liquidity. So you want to attract investment capital. They want to see liquidity in the stock and what have you. So you need to have enough out there. So we have a tight flow. We have great shareholders. Very grateful for the shareholders in the back, and we have from the number of firms and the key people in there, and we have a great team too. So I'm very grateful for my team, because without them, we wouldn't be here.
Spencer, I do have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
My favorite part of any interview is to ask personal questions. So it's like to be a co-founder and CEO of a publicly traded company that is related to cryptocurrency. First of all, stock market closes, but Bitcoin does not, and a crypto market does not stop. So what it's like to that's the first one. The second one, how do you cope with the stress? But then
bottles of wine.
But
I like it.
Bottles of wine. No, it's
in the morning.
that's my morning. No, it's first off, I think one of the best things is having a great team. And so having a great team with you, you can rely on people, and everybody talks about delegating, but it's harder to do. And you kind of grow into that role because you have people you trust. So you have to trust in your team and support your team. And that's the first part about being able to handle the stress and the speed at which things are going to move. Now, the other thing is I've had some experience with it. So my other company went public in 2017. That was Big Digital Assets. They own Netcoins, and they own a compliance software that competes with Chainalysis and what have you. And so I learned a lot of lessons from that. We came through the other side. We had the good, the bad, and went through a 2-year bear market. And so nothing like experience to season you and get through. But certainly keeping perspective, keeping focused on your plan. And I think one of the things we did very well during that time is, one, we're in a major uptrend with Bitcoin and crypto, and Bitcoin in particularly. So that helped smooth out any mistakes that were made at that time. And those lessons I draw for that, any mistakes I made that were related to people, and not necessarily hiring the right people, but maybe putting them in the wrong place or not moving them to where they needed to be at that time. And so those are the lessons you learn. In other words, seasoning matters, and having a great team around you matters, because when the storms happen and you need to actually move quickly, you're going to rely on them. Now, handling the stress, I like to work out. I like to eat well. I try to play hockey and other things to disengage. I love what I do. I love the space. So this is not really a job for me. It's more of a mission and a lifestyle, because I'm all in. I've been in for a long time. So there's a lot of joy in there. And I think that plays into, hopefully that comes through in the excitement we have in our company.
Okay, so I have to follow up. Because we're at Benzinga very interested in how to build an efficient company, and how to inspire each other, because we're very hard working at Benzinga. So I do have to follow up. You've said delegating, focusing on what's important, choosing the right employees, right? Any strategies or business strategies that you use that prove themselves to be efficient. Just a bit of a perspective. We have heard talking to a CEO of a crypto exchange that there is a horse riding strategy, something like that. So any strategies that you can recommend to us specifically?
Yeah, horse riding strategy. I'm not sure what that is, but certainly I'm not sure what it, I don't think I'll take that strategy on. Last time I was on a horse was a while ago, but no. So the strategy for sure, and we have some strategies about one of the things that's important is we have a great team, and everybody's clear on where we're going, and also trying to give them the flexibility. So trusting in that team. I don't have to have total oversight or micromanage. We know that they're going to execute on it. One of the things we was thinking about today, we have our strategy meetings on Wednesday midweek. We don't do our Monday morning call like a lot of companies do. I find that it's a waste of time, because we have a great team. Everybody knows what they have to do Monday morning. I don't need to throw more on them. We don't need to rehash what we talked about a few days ago. They just want to execute. By midweek, it's kind of when everyone's up to speed, everyone's rolling, and we can actually have some real discussions about what's been accomplished, what they need help with in the middle of the week, what we can still execute on it, and then get through the end of the week. So I think that's a big part of trusting teams and moving things forward. And there's other little strategies as well, but that's one of them.
Okay. My last, Spencer. Can
No. Last one.
My last question is: you've mentioned that you are on a mission. So, what kind of mission is that?
Well, we look at Bitcoin. This could be a longer answer, so you might have to cut me off. But where we see Bitcoin is essentially the trust protocol of the internet, and it's layer 8 to that 7-layer OSI stack of the internet, and really represents how trust will be done around the world. Money and payments is just a first use case, like email was a real first use case in the 90s. And so now when you understand that it's just a continuation of the revolution of the internet, and you have this last mile reach into everybody's countries, you effectively, through the Lightning Network and other platform, the base layer of Bitcoin, you have the ability over time to affect how trust is done in a nation, and you can reduce corruption within a country. And so one of the theories I have with it is we have this thing called intellectual imperialism, where we strip mine intellectual capacity from developing nations by simply offering them a better life in the West. And they want to leave because they can't get ahead in those countries because those countries are highly corrupt. But we have a tool with Bitcoin and trust that can be used for anything that requires digitized trust, whether it be money, payments, digital ID, real estate, it doesn't really matter, voting. And we now, as it continues to spread around the world, we can reduce the corruption on some of these nations, give people less reason to leave, so we're not taking their best and brightest, and we can affect change over 30 years from now. So we're really planting the seeds of this kind of change and that others will stand under that shade in 30 years from now. So I'm very, that's the big picture.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Anstey, CEO, co-founder, and CEO of Liquid.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
All right, take care.
All right.
Bye.
Catherine, that is going to be a wrap for Crypto Show today. We got Vivi up here in the background.
Hey, awesome.
Well, we did have her. Now she's gone. Regardless, Catherine, any final thoughts for us?
Yeah, people seem to be very inspired about what crypto can bring to the world. I do have my own thoughts, but I'm not going to share them.
Next time.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah,
okay.
You can't keep it close to the chest forever. You gotta give the people what they want.
People are, I'm not going to be their favorite if I'm going to speak my mind.
You don't have to be everybody's favorite.
Yeah,
Okay.
these days I feel like I'm nobody's favorite. So,
No worries, Sam. So no.
All right,
We're in
guys.
the same boat there.
Make Catherine your favorite and smash the like button.
Yes.
Where's my little Where's my fun little like?
Do we have it in this brand? We don't have it.
We don't have it. We don't have it. SMDH. All right, smash the like button for Catherine Ross. Links
for Aaron.
Links to her Twitter in description, and that's gonna be a wrap for. It's gonna be a wrap for crypto today. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, that is a wrap on
crypto. What is going on with that brand? Oh my goodness.
That's the wrong brand, my guy. What are you doing?
Psych, that's the wrong brand.
What are you doing? All right.
All right. It wasn't the wrong brand, to be fair. That was totally me. But it was just preset on the wrong background in the correct brand. So
okay.
Couldn't avoid that one, unfortunately. But what can you do?
Okay, so we have Vivi joining us from her phone today.
Yes,
we do. Yeah.
Do we think that she's here right now? Should we bring her on?
I see blackness, but
I see no camera input.
So. Should we just roll with it and see what happens?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Hey, Vivi, can you hear us? No.
Paging Vivi.
That was a hard no on Vivi hearing us right now.
All right. Yep. That.
Oh wait, we might have her.
I see her. I don't know if her internet connection is stable. We'll see. Oh, it looks
Vivi,
like
Vivi, thumbs up if you're good to go.
Yeah, she said. Here, let's put her on. Hey, Vivi. Oh.
Guess she doesn't want to talk to us today.
On today's episode of Biotech Buzz, we have the disappearing Vivi.
I did. Hey, wait. Let me just say that there was a comment. If you leave comments below our videos, we do look at those. Someone left a comment. I think Quebec left a comment like last week, and I texted Vivi this morning and I asked her to address what the comment was. It was regarding BNTX and a couple of tickers. So if you leave what?
BNTX, or is this the one you sent me or something else?
No, he's the one I sent you. I thought it was BNTX. Whatever. Regardless, I sent it to her. Okay, so if you leave a comment, we do look at that. We do see those. You're not talking into the abyss. Just PSA.
Cool kids leave comments.
Oh wait, it was BCRX. That's what it was.
That they do. That
that's what I
they do. Okay, well, I'm going to hop off. I'm going to let you guys.
See you, man. All right, producer Aaron is gone, and then there was Rohan.
So rude.
Yes, Antonio, we read the comments. What is happening?
Oh my God, I don't know if this is going to be good. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you and we see you.
Can you guys hear me?
What happened? What happened?
Yeah, we hear you.
Computer? Did you leave your computer
Yeah,
somewhere?
it's my car. I had to take my car in, and my computer stayed in my car. So that was a big mistake. And then the internet here at my friend's house doesn't work. So I'm like now on a data, but you guys can hear. You're not hearing like a bunch of little. Can you hear me clearly?
We hear you clearly.
Clearly enough.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
A lot of technical difficulties today.
Let's start with
I'll place my phone here.
Let's start with the question that I texted you.
That would be it.
Let's start with the question I texted you earlier. It was about BCRX and it was about Dare, right? Can you hear me? Can she hear me?
Hey, Vivi.
Yes.
Did you hear Spencer? He asked. We have a question regarding BCRX.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, the offering.
Yeah, what is your opinion on Dare? Could you explain offering in BCRX, please?
Absolutely. So BCRX reported amazing earnings, right? So they did a 10 million at the launch in Q1, and they did 28 million on Q2. They probably have I don't know, probably $150 million in cash. But they are on the conference call. If you guys listen to read the transcripts, it's talking about how they're going to be able to initiate 4 trials. So in the situation where we are at, you guys see that in terms of the stock, it didn't fall abruptly, right? If it was a stock already without a revenue, and if it was $5, it would have gone to $2.50. Because there's no revenue. So with the BCRX, there's revenues, and this dog doesn't stop barking. Just a second. Let me put this dog here back.
The dogs are
my
barking.
God,
That's
it's
a
not
bad
even my
sign.
dog.
I think the
Where's
dog
that?
has an opinion on BCRX.
Can we find out the dog? Can we find out what the dog thinks
what
about
is the
BCRX?
dog? No. Yeah, she's staring at the window. No. No, we're not barking. So
This is the best edition of Biotech Buzz ever.
When it comes to BCRX, I think that it's a completely positive situation that we're going in because they're initiating four studies. So they have a 4 molecule. So this is what's going to take us. I told you guys in the last show, BCRX just without the Factor D pipeline, you're looking at $30 a share, just in revenue. They're going to pull 100 million revenue this year. But think about it with the BCRX, the Factor D pipeline, when you look at the PNH indication, they went from PNH, they went from phase 1 straight to phase 3. This is how good it looked in phase 1. So they skipped to phase 2. And PNH is right now, they only have 1 product. And not 1 product. The drug is where Takeda, not Takeda, AstraZeneca, Alexion. So what is the price today for BCRX?
$15.52 is what we're sitting at today.
Yeah. So think about it. Like we lost $2 a share. Imagine if we didn't have revenue, right? I feel like this is an amazing buying opportunity because, like I told you guys, the Factor D pipeline is what's going to take us through triple digits. So once these trials are successful, which it looked like they're going to that trajectory of it being successful trials, the first indication will be PNH, and that's going to be probably next year in December. I talked to somebody that knows a manager at BCRX, and he was telling me that they're looking at December of 2022. So I told you guys, I bought an additional 500 shares. I thought I had 20,000, but I only had 18,000. I know only. So I bought an additional 500 shares yesterday when it went down, but it went down even further. But like I said, if you're looking at long term, I'm not really concerned about $1 or $2 a share. So in case of a BCRX to fund the trials and to get us to triple digits, I think is a very positive news in regards to raising cash. So now the question is, do we get Benzinga? Do you know how much is the offering for, and how much cash did they raise? Or we haven't seen any yet?
200 million offering is what it says here.
So at what price?
Let's see if I can get more information on that. I'm not sure. Sharing.
I literally have to have the dog in my lap, so she stopped barking. She's like a nippy little dog.
My dog is the same way. She'll just stare at the window and bark at absolutely nothing. $4.50 a share, I think.
For what?
No, wait, this might be totally wrong. Yeah, that's old news.
That was when I actually added BCRX in June of 2020, I think, at a 450. That's when I first added BCRX, right after that offering. So we haven't seen what this 200 million that you just saw. It was also an old one.
Yeah, hold on. I'm pulling up a new one. That was just Google throwing me old stuff. Okay. So, okay, it's offering to sell 200 million of its common stock. Where's the price?
Doesn't say what price it's going for.
Not yet.
Okay.
No price, but involves warrant offering, is what Quebec in the chat said.
Yeah, so I mean, think about it. People are like, literally, people are just on the sidelines with cash, waiting what they price at. And I even saw some people say, "I hope they price at $10 so I can load the boat," because it's just a temporary, deflation of a price, because we're just gonna have. I mean, I think this is gonna be it. The CEO said he was not doing an offering, and I think that maybe he changed his mind when in regards to timing of these studies. But I think that once we have these and we're increasing our revenue with all our deal, I think we're good to go. So this is a perfect opportunity, you guys. If you haven't got your hands in BCRX shares, that this is going to be an opportunity right here. But I see this climbing right back up.
Makes sense. All right, well, kind of a fun start to the show, but is there anything else you wanted to talk about rolling into the starting? Also, hello everyone, and thanks for hanging out with us on the Biotech Buzz. That is what you're watching. Vivi, Biotech Queen here. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the chat for her.
Yeah, today was a kind of a crazy day because I dropped my car at a dealership and my computer is in it, so I wasn't able to really do a lot of research. But I definitely have my pen and paper, and maybe we can update. Not everyone sees the show every single time. Maybe we can update everyone into what I'm still holding and what are my hopes for each out of those holdings. So if you can pull up a CKBT.
Sure. Got Checkpoint up here, $2.58 a share currently.
Okay, and so the reason I think this is a great buying opportunity is the BlackRock and all those big institutions, they all load up millions and millions of shares at 290, right? So I thought at 270, I was like, woohoo, I'm winning. So I added all the shares here because in a Q4 is when they're going to release the phase 3 data. And let me tell you, the preliminary data is looking really, really good. Looks a better overall response, better overall response than Keytruda. So they have a drug that's going to compete with Keytruda. Keytruda is a leader in the market. So if you guys don't call me by it, but the good thing about to see this company is if you go to their website and look at their corporate presentation, and it shows the comparison with all the other PD-1 inhibitors and the difference between the competition. You guys are going to be really, really pleased to see what I'm seeing. So another really interesting fact here, I had a TGTX. Can you pull that up for me? Which is still a great company. So TG, T as in Tom, G as in gold, TX. Can you see it? Rohan?
My bad. I didn't realize you couldn't hear
Hello?
me. TGTX, I think that was up on the screen there.
TGTX. So the president of that company is on a board of a CKPT. And so I bought at TGTX at $10 a share and I sold at 40. What is it now? Because I'm on my phone, I cannot see.
22.58.
Oh my God, this is a great opportunity for long-term hold right here. So I sold at 40 and look, a lot of these biotechs have lost 50% of a value in terms of a stock value. So I'm a firm believer in this company. I sold at the top, obviously, but they are really, really involved with the CKPT. So you guys will be very pleased to see what CKPT has to offer. And then if you can pull up a KMPH.
All right, that is up for you.
So I had somebody on Twitter that just had their first script. So what are the companies doing? And I'll explain to you guys about reimbursement a little bit. So when we first launch a drug, we offer a copay card because what happened is, you guys are not familiar, but if you see an insurance company, you have a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, right? So tier 1, it's usually like $10 or $15 is your generic. So tier 2 is your branded. So it's usually like 25 to 40 bucks. And then your tier 3 is where the company is not it's not covered by the insurance and they have to do a prior authorization. And that's when you're paying $75 copay. And so when we launch a drug, what the strategy is, how can we get, the more prior authorizations we do and the more they fall in tier 3, the company and the patients are paying premium, right? And so what we do for the patient is we offer 0 copay cards. So the Corium is offering $75 off. So that would take off the tier 3. I'm just giving you guys a background so you guys understand how it works. I'm sure most of you guys don't know. So it falls down on tier 3. So what's going to happen is if us sales reps start pushing the doctors to do the authorizations, these prior authorizations, not only the insurance does not have a contract with the pharmaceutical company, they're paying full price on it. The patients are helping with the copay cards. And what happened is, like United Healthcare start fighting that because they're like, okay, if you guys giving these copay cards to these patients, you are making us pay full price for the medication. And that forces them to negotiate with the payers and with the pharmaceutical companies to get that price down and back into tier 2. So our goal as reps, we want to push the heck out of a prior authorization. So the company forces the payers, the Blue Shield, Blue Cross is forced to get that drug on the formulary. So right now, Corium is doing, they're doing a month free, okay, of a prescription of a samples, and they're doing 0 copay cards. So what that does for the patient is the offices have a month to get the prior authorizations going, and then the patient can take Asteris for a month. So it's going to be a low process because you're not going to see a lot of scripts the first month of July because these patients are not going to the pharmacy to request a refill. But if we have a really good sales force that implements those tactics, we're going to go see a lot of the payers start putting that drug on a formulary, and that's how drugs and that's how business work. So I don't see KMPH here being, I don't see this price movement until we see the real numbers. So July, August, September, that's not going to be projected until the end of the year. So I don't see anything until we see update of those numbers around November. So that's my for KMPH. And then we have ARDX. I know that a lot of us got stuck with that, and we're waiting on a meeting. I heard that there's some layoffs. People say, "Oh, layoffs is never a good thing." Well, it might be a good thing because if they maybe need to do 6 months to a year of another study, they're trying to save money, and therefore they have eliminated the sales force because nobody wants to keep them on a payroll. So I have another side what I want to do. I want to see how long this news study request by the FDA is going to go on. I have to say, in my career of trading, this has to be my biggest let down of my whole career, because everyone thought this was like a slam dunk. You know, that was like a perfect, like 95% institutional ownership. Everybody was buying that this drug is going to get approved. So waiting on a meeting to see what's going to happen. And then if you can put a SE and S on it, you guys are going to like this catalyst, because we have approval in October. So we have approval in October for their device. So in October, we have a device approval. And then if you can pull up, the approval is going to be for the 180 days. So right now, they're only approved for 9 days. So the 180 days is going to be approved in October. So I'm holding that, because I feel like the 180 glucose monitor is going to be huge, especially for kids. And now see my dog, somebody walked in. So now my dog is going crazy, my pug. But then if you can put also SCSN.
Yeah, so and we did have a question in the chat about SESN from Bill. They have PDUFA coming up on Wednesday. Are you heavy or light, is what he asked.
I am super light. I mean, think about it. I bought 1,000 shares at $3. I'm losing that much money. You know, well, let's assume it goes down 50%. I'm losing $1,500. I would not be that concerned. So I'm definitely holding that. I feel like that drug has such a potential. But I mean, think about it. I had 9,000 shares of ARDX. Like, I was betting big. It was like 70 grand. That has taken a huge I'm still licking my wounds, like I tell you guys. So SCS, I have 1,000 shares, and I'll probably hold that 1,000 shares for a long time, because the potential of this drug is between 700 million to 1 billion. So that is why I'm definitely holding through PDUFA. But again, if I had 10,000 shares, there's no way in how I would have been holding after what we went through with ARDX. I would have probably sell 80% before Wednesday, and then keep 20% of the shares. So I am holding. Hopefully for good news, because we've been getting just bad news after bad news when it comes of approval. Anybody else has any questions? You guys have any takers from me on Thursday that I'll have my shit together and I'll have my computer?
Well, there are a couple of them. Solar Up wants to hear about SRNG. He's saying
N-E?
SRNG.
Oh, gee, I never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, Ginkgo Bioworks. He says good deal of their work leads to medical breakthroughs like Moderna's vaccine. Interesting. And then Jorge or George Lynn in the chat. Can you talk about ENSC? Lots of talk on FinTwit about that one.
ENSC. Oh my God. Okay. Fool me once, fool me twice, right? Because I bought it at 45 cents, and then I sold at a loss, and then I bought it back. I bought it like a lotto ticket. I really I'm still very skeptical of this company and what everybody talks about on Twitter. So, but I have like maybe $1,000 invested on it, because I have a little bit of a FOMO, and I'm afraid. Oh no, it's the ESNC. No, I'm talking about ENZC. Okay, no, this one I'll give it to you guys next.
This is Enseiss Biosciences.
Also, ENSC. No, if you can put ENZC, is the one that everybody talks on Twitter, that they have this magical drug for COVID. And I bought a little bit of a lotto ticker on that one, just in case I don't lose. But it's a penny stock, and there's a quote on Twitter about this ticker for sure. Any more questions, Rohan?
Yeah. So, did you talk about DARE at all? DARE?
I think I've talked about DARE before. I apologize, because I had all my notes on my computer. My computer's inside my car. So I'll get you guys. I promise I'll get you guys on Thursday about DARE.
All right. People ask about BNGO. I know we've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. BNGO is one of those companies that I don't have. I like to invest heavy on those companies like BCRX, but I have only 1,000 shares that I feel like this company has a lot of potential. and it's a kind of a set and forget it. The same with LCTX. Until I can see more developing on the pipeline, on the products, I will add it slowly. But I like just to buy and set and forget. I think BNGO has a huge potential to be an amazing company. Okay, Beja. And anything else? I'll take a deep. I'll let you know some updates on BNGO for next week for sure.
Awesome. Okay, couple more tickers for you. JAGX, JAGX.
Okay, JAGX. Can you put that one up? I think it's a penny stock, isn't it? Not penny, like a pink. Or no?
Jaguar Health. It's currently at $1.33 on NASDAQ.
Okay, I think I've seen that one, but I'll get you guys going for next week for sure.
Okay.
Not next week, Thursday.
Thursday. And we're running pretty low on time here. I know Spencer's about to jump on and kick us off. We do have a new show starting at 3, so I want to make sure we end on time. Let's see. ATOS, ATOS.
ATOS always does really well when there's news for sure.
Okay. AHPI.
AHPI.
AHPI, yeah.
AHPI. Okay, I think this is good, Rohan. If you get anything else or Spencer, just screenshot it and send it to me.
Okay, we'll do that.
Sounds good.
You can always leave a comment,
Okay.
guys. Thanks a lot, Vivi. We know it was.
Thank you. I'll see you. I mean, it was a tough day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My car completely shut down. I had somebody tow it and I forgot my laptop inside.
That's
so
all right.
I'm sorry, you guys. But I'll
It
see you guys
happens.
on Thursday with my shit together.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thanks a lot, Rohan. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. We are going to end the stream. Our brand new show, The Roadmap, is coming up next. But before I do that, before I throw it to the roadmap, I want to play a quick word from Vantage Point. Let's turn that music off. Quick word from Vantage Point. Then I'll wrap it up. Then we'll go to the roadmap.
Do you feel like you're always late to the best trades? You don't have to kick yourself for those missed opportunities any longer. Today is your day. Vantage Point's artificial intelligence has helped traders of all experience levels with its predictive analysis forecasting. Visit VantagePointForecast.com and find out how their AI automatically recognizes global market patterns well ahead of the news to help you pick the best trade. Go to VantagePointForecast.com to join a free live training session today. Vantage Point's patented artificial intelligence can give you massive edge. Don't hesitate, save your seat now. Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance.
Okay, we're done. Guys, we made it. We made it through a nice 3-hour stream. I'm going to wrap it up. The roadmap is coming up live right now. Do me a solid. Take a second out of your life and smash that like button, please. And thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks to all of our guests, all of our hosts, everybody who joined the stream today. I appreciate them very, very much. I appreciate all of you in our chat. As always, you guys make us go. Without you, we would be talking to ourselves, and why would we do that every day? It would be no fun. All right, I'm going to end the stream. The roadmap is live now. The guest today, they're talking to the Doge Pound. If you know on Twitter, the Doge Pound NFT is the handle. Big guest for those guys, Chris Kachi. They're live right now. I'm ending. See you guys in a half hour for the At the Close show. If I can figure out how to end the stream.